everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and tonight we've got a twofer for you. We're going to tell you how we felt about the Lanterns pilot and also the new dinosaur movie, The End of Oak Street. And we thought we'd go ahead and do both of these, or one of them would not get reviewed. I don't want to thank these guys for taking a look at both of these things. Actually, I didn't know that Robert was going to be here until today. I didn't even invite Robert for this originally because we lost internet last Friday and didn't have internet all weekend. And I finally got a technician out today to fix the fiber, and now we're finally right. It's like I've had internet maybe 6 hours, and so we didn't know if we were going to actually be able to broadcast. And so I got a message from Robert, and he was like, "Hey, are you doing End of Oak Street?" And I was like, "We are, and and I can actually invite you now." And then he was like, "Oh, good, I watched Lanterns also." So Robert's actually going to be able to talk to us about all of the stuff that we did today. And Austin, unfortunately, so we got Robert, we got Austin, we got my son Jason. Austin, unfortunately,
and me, unfortunately,
we were that's not what I was gonna say. We were not able, because my internet went down, to do our rewind commentary last week on the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, which means we're gonna have to do this coming Friday. We had to put it back a week after we've talked about the Lanterns pilot. That was not how I wanted to do that. But we got to backtrack and deal with that piece of crap. So that'll be
even more unfortunately, we weren't supposed to do Lanterns. It was supposed to be the Dino Double tonight, End of Oak Street and Paw Patrol the Dino movie. But somehow Lanterns snuck in its place.
You know what? I completely forgot to do that double feature. I'm really sorry. And
could get to the theater in time.
Well, the problem with that would have been we saw End of Oak Street. We're going to start with Lanterns tonight. I know that's what more of our audience will be interested in us talking about. So we're gonna open with that, so people don't have to wait for an hour and a half for us to get to that, or however long we'll end up talking about that dinosaur movie. But Friday night, because the internet went out and I wasn't able to do Rewind with Austin, I'm sorry about that whole thing. He watches Green Lantern right before, you'd never seen it before, right before we were about to broadcast. He sends me a message. He's halfway through it and he goes, I can't even with this movie. I gotta take a break. And he left it for like half an hour and came back. And then we didn't even broadcast that night.
I finished it a couple hours later, but then I was also so tired I passed out and then woke up to we can't stream. I was like, oh, that's okay.
Oh, you took a 2-hour break.
Oh yeah, like it was a while before I got back to it.
That's awesome. So anyway, but all I was going to say is, so Jason and I ended up going to End of Oak Street at like 11 o'clock at night. So to do that double feature, we would have been seeing the Paw Patrol movie at 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's the intended time to watch the Paw Patrol movie, though. I'm
sure some theater would have been playing that at 1 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere.
You probably would have walked in and the cast and the director would be there.
At 1 a.m.
Septic Stream, we need a Paw Patrol review because your review on Super Buddies is legendary. I appreciate that. The problem with that is I would end up having to review the other Paw Patrol movie or movies. Like, there's more than one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a Paw Patrol superhero movie, so
yeah, there is a straight up superhero one, I think.
For a superhero one?
And then there's like Super Kitties. I don't know if that got a movie yet.
No.
I don't think it did, at least not theatrically.
I don't think so.
What are we talking about? Let's get into Lanterns. So HBO Max, this just dropped, what, Austin? Friday, Saturday?
Last night.
Oh, just last night?
Because this is also HBO proper, so like it went on to Max and aired on HBO at like 9 o'clock last night.
Okay, cool. I wasn't even sure what the day was going to be. So it'll be Sunday every week then?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at us right on the pulse, which we've not been much this year because we've got lots of other superhero TV shows to tackle that we haven't had a chance to look at yet. We're going to start hitting those after this if all goes according to plan. Jason and I are going to try to do X-Men 97 next week. So bear with us as we finally get to some of this stuff. But why don't we just get right into this with a little synopsis of the first episode. That's all we've got so far. I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of wishes that they had dropped the first two at once, so we had a little bit more to deal with. But it's a pretty dense pilot. There's quite a bit in this. Austin, why don't you give us a little bit of a synopsis, sir?
Oh, yeah. So in 2006, or no, 1996. God, I'm already messing up dates. Uh, something. Hal Jordan reveals that he's Green Lantern to the world on 60 Minutes, and Jon Stewart's watching it, and then his dad, like a good father, shoots an apple off his head. Cut to 2016. And now Jon Stewart is a Green Lantern trainee, and he's learning how to be a Green Lantern from Hal, who's not especially happy that he's there because the Guardians like picked him to be a Green Lantern instead of like the ring just flying off after one died and picking one, and so they are using the same ring together, and then they get brought in by the ring itself tells John a message, which he then brings to Hal to go to Nebraska because there are aliens afoot. And then we go there, and there's a mass shooting that's happened, and basically Secret Invasion is happening because DC loves Secret Invasion. Peacemaker season 1 is Secret Invasion. This is Secret Invasion. James Gunn loves Secret Invasion. He's like, God damn it, that show didn't work, but I'm going to make it work.
We got to do it everywhere else.
Exactly. So now the Green Lanterns have to work out what's going on with that. And they meet a couple of other people in the town. Like Hal gets arrested and then is brought in by a wealthy someone that lives in the area. And there might be shenanigans with him. And there's also a sheriff that is like kind of flirting with Hal, but is also married. And her husband is Hal's lawyer through all of this when he gets arrested. And yeah.
I didn't get flirting. I thought initially she just absolutely hated him, and it was.
Oh, there's definitely some flirting going on between those two.
Wow. Okay. Did you pick up on this? I did not pick up on that.
A little bit.
That was not the watch I had, but I'll see if I'm picking up on that on a second viewing, Austin.
I mean, she hates him, but she wants to do other stuff too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay, fair enough.
She wants to take a ride on that Hot Wheels track from the movie.
No.
Couldn't get 10 minutes in before the Hot Wheel track already came up. That Friday, Austin. Friday.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad. That was not in this episode.
There's, of course, if you've seen trailers, a lot of stuff that we know we're going to get into the season that we've not got in the pilot yet. So we're obviously building to Manhunters, but we haven't straight up said that that's what we're looking at yet. And we know that Guy Gardner is coming. It's funny, the little making of 3-minute featurette at the end of the episode has producers and writers talking about the big mystery of who's the Green Lantern in the present day, and I'm like, we already know who that is. It was in Superman. I don't know why you're talking about that like it's a mystery, but all right. And you've been putting it in all of the advertising, we know who that is. But it is.
It could be anyone.
It could be anyone played by Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
Yeah, it's probably some sort of guy.
Maybe he's a gardener.
Exactly.
No.
Austin, it goes back to 1996, just like my movie last year.
That's true.
Immediately 1996 pops up and Jason looks at me and he goes, "Hey, we did that."
Well, because for some reason it's Superman does that thing where it's all in threes, where it's 30 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 hours ago, whatever. And then this, it's 1996, 2016, 2026. Well, is that going to be a running theme?
Yeah.
Oh, in 86. Yeah, no, I forgot about that one. Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, everything is squarely on the 10 years. It's got a real Back to the Future kind of thing going on.
Yeah, so Superman's always in threes, Green Lantern's always in tens.
Every important thing happens within, in 10 years. Well, and the X-Men prequel franchise does the same thing, where everything's on a 3. It's 63, 73.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the inspiration.
I think Dark Phoenix might have even been 93. I can't remember if Apocalypse was 83 or 82, but it's always 9 or 10 years. But it's a decade or very nearly a decade. if memory serves.
Oh, okay.
Robert's got this does not compute look on his face. Am I wrong?
Well, was First Class 63 or 62?
Maybe it was 62. Maybe it was 62 to 73, and it's not squarely 10 years.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think
it
that's
was.
right.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, it's real close. This is
Close
squarely 10 years. But yeah, this is doing a lot of time jumping, and you get the sense that as it moves forward, we're gonna have a couple of dramatic situations in at least two different time periods that we're jumping back and forth to. I want to say sort of like a Lost. Like we've got Lindelof on this. That's a story thing he likes to do, but it's like ongoing story threads that are taking place in two different time periods as opposed to like different people's backstories that we keep jumping back to. And in that way, it's a little bit more like Paradise, which I keep comparing this to. And having seen the pilot now, I'm still comparing it quite a bit to that show. Structurally, it's a lot like that in the way it jumps back and forth between time periods. And there's one major thing that is too spoilery to talk about now that reminds me a lot of Paradise that we'll get to. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, so I guess we'll go ahead and go into sign flips. Robert, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
so for my signs, I got a Green Lantern First Flight, the epic animated motion picture that I haven't watched in like 15 years, but I remember being all right. I don't know. So I got that, and then red.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a reddish case. I did my best.
Hey, I also
have
I have
burgundy.
this on Blu-ray.
I was already showing you red.
Yeah, well, this is actually
not
the
blue.
green case it
Mine's not
came
blue.
in. Did you just have a black case?
Yes,
That's
mine's a
lame.
black case. Mine's not a Blu-ray. Mine's a
That's
DVD.
lame.
Because a lot
Yeah.
of
No,
the worst...
this is also DVD.
Oh, okay, a lot of the worst superhero movies, I don't bother to get in nicer formats. I get as cheaply
Except
as
Madam Web.
which I have a glorious steelbook for. Anyway, so what were you saying, Robert?
So
It's
yeah,
one of the
those are
prettiest
my
steelbooks
signs.
I own. It's Madam Web.
But as far as best thing, worst thing goes, I'm guessing I'm gonna steal a lot of people's best thing, but we'll see what happens because I'm gonna go with Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. I think he's fantastic. I think it's the best stuff so far. I mean, Aaron Pierre is good as Jon Stewart too, and their bickering, their banter is what like the whole outside of the multiple timelines and all the sci-fi shenanigans. It's really just about the bickering and odd couple relationship between these two characters. And that stuff really works. I read that Sam Shepard's portrayal of the real life test pilot Chuck Yeager in the movie The Right Stuff was like a big influence on this take on Hal, and that's a movie I ought to finally watch because I've heard it's great. But that seems like a really inspired choice for inspiration here. But yeah, like everything with Hal, I think is great. I think a lot of their scenes together are great. Worst thing for me, especially in the first half of the episode that is involved with my best thing is I will be that guy who says some of the language did take me out of it. They do drop the F-bomb a lot, especially in the first half of the episode. And that stuff usually doesn't bother me. Like, I don't care, but it did feel a little excessive even to me. Like, okay, there's other swear words you could use just for the sake of variety. But there's less of that in the back half of the episode. So that was the one thing that took me out a couple times, but whatever.
It's HBO. It's like they have a quota. It's like you have to hit at
think
least
so,
12 in an episode. It's very important.
Yeah, but that aside, I am going to flip green and say I am feeling it so far. I really like this pilot. Obviously, I have a lot of questions and maybe concerns about things moving forward. I'm not in love with it or anything, but so far I really like what we've seen. That I think it's working.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and just go to Austin.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump into this room.
Yeah. Well, I was very cautiously optimistic about this show because I'm like, I don't know, that sounds neat, like a Green Lantern True Detective, but at the same time, I'm very hit or miss on Tom King, and
Yeah.
I've yet to see something I like with Lindelof's name attached to it. So I'm like, but at the same time, the guy who made Ozark was the showrunner for this, so I'm like, as long as he like reins both of them in, this might be good. We'll see. And yeah, that was kind of my place going into it. And yeah, I'd say overall I really liked this first episode. Robert stole my best thing, 100%. It's Hal Jordan. So I'll just add on to it in that the big like interrogation scene climax of this episode is like amazing. It's wonderful. I love it. And then as for worst thing, this is whatever, but I really hate that the show doesn't have an intro. That sucks.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That was my backup worst thing.
And
I wish it had opening
I
credits.
didn't think of it. I kind of just take for granted now we just don't do intros anymore. But I guess the gun stuff, there's precedent for it now. So I could see why you were maybe expecting it or hoping for it. I'm just used to
That
no
and, like-
TV having it anymore. But like, I guess Peacemaker
The-
had
you-
it. I guess Creature Commandos has some bit of one. If memory, no,
They're
it does.
kind of making a
it has
comeback,
full,
though.
It has a full animated intro, doesn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Penguin didn't have one, but like all the
No,
Netflix
Penguin
stuff.
did. Or
No,
does
the Penguin is
does
just
have
like
an end
title.
credits? Right.
Yeah.
So Penguin has an end credits animated sequence. Gotcha.
I don't even remember that. Maybe I just turned it off after the episode ended. But anyways, I like Spider Noir had one. Like I don't know. I was
I haven't
very
seen that
much
yet.
expecting this to have one, and I was very disappointed instantly when it just went Lanterns.
Although, I mean, don't get your hopes up or anything, but it's a pilot. Traditionally, we used to do this with pilots, where you wouldn't have an intro until the second episode. They probably still won't, but like they could. I'm just saying it's possible.
I will say, to your point, House of the Dragon, which is also an HBO show, pilot didn't have opening credits, and then episode 2 on does. And that is an HBO show, so maybe.
They absolutely could. And I wasn't sure if we should call this a pilot because I didn't know if this was a situation where they had to make a pilot and then get a season order. I assumed probably not. But then when you get to the kind of, for lack of a better word, like publication information at the end, it is listed as a pilot. Like they're like HBO is calling it that. So
Oh, okay. I assume that was just like a clever pun
you could
that they called
still-
this episode pilot.
Hal Jordan's a pilot.
But no, I don't think it's just the name of the episode. I think they are considering it a pilot. I could be wrong, but you could still get your intro.
Okay,
We'll
well,
see.
get on it, fellas.
You have a week to make one.
Exactly.
I was like, I'll make it for you. I'll make Green Lantern paper dolls and film them in stop motion.
That'd be wonderful. It's like
Okay.
the Ring creating like little paper dolls.
It'd be great. And then you just hold your hand out like this the whole time. Like
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the Green Lantern. I can't do it because mine's red, and this show doesn't have those yet.
I won't even have that. I'll just draw a circle, like a green line on my finger, and be like, "That's the ring."
You just hit marker. It takes you like a week to
Yeah.
wash it off.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I liked this episode quite a bit. There's a couple questions I have, but I also found, because I gave it a second watch today, and there was a couple things I wasn't sure about that I was also like cleared up on a second viewing. So that I appreciated that.
Oh yeah, you had the chance to watch it twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Senior Sticks $2 super chat. Please theorize how removing the word green helps.
Makes it edgy.
A lot of folks on about the kind of CW-esque title with this because admittedly that is the kind of thing that you would expect like TV 10 or 15 years ago or more to do, where we can't have green in the title because like it sounds darker or edgier to take that off, or like we're too cool for school. How do you guys feel about that? Like, is that the motivation, or is there another reason? Because I thought they might lead with discussion at least about the spectrum,
Yeah.
and we're taking green out of it because there will be more than just Green Lanterns, but we don't have any evidence of that yet.
Yeah.
That's not to say that we won't, and I would be very surprised if we got a whole season of this and there was no mention of the rest of the spectrum, considering how much of at least some of the talk about the Green Lantern mythology is very Jeff Johns. That's going to be in there at some point, but I don't know if that's the
Hopefully.
reason. So I don't know how you guys feel.
Hopefully
about
we
that.
actually, yeah, my big thing with this so far is hopefully we actually get into some core stuff, because that is my favorite Grand Lantern stuff, is all the is the spectrum. Um, and that's what I had also originally thought. So I don't know. It was more a hope than a. That's what I think they'll do. But
I mean, I'm glad it's not the name of this town. Because that would be what the
Yeah.
CW would do with it. Like, we're in a lot of the action is in this small town, at
Yeah.
least the 2016 stuff, which seems like will be kind of the meat of the show. So I'm glad it's not that.
Oh yeah. No, thank God. As for just lanterns, I don't know. I'm indifferent to it. I don't really have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of people theorized, besides the potential color spectrum angle off the bat, is, oh, we just don't want to remind people of this movie.
Yeah.
So how do we get away from that? Which, and even if that's the reason, like, whatever. I just want a good show. Like, I'm with
Right.
Austin. I'm kind of indifferent to the title as of this point.
Yeah, exactly. Like if the show's good, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I also get the frustration from the hardcore fan base where they were immediately put off by that, and then they saw a trailer, and then they didn't feel like there was enough color in it, and like people, there is a lot of controversy with this because there's a lot of controversy with friggin' everything now.
Yeah.
Except End of Oak Street, I'm not hearing anybody complaining about anything with that, but I haven't heard anybody say anything about that. So I don't know if
I've
anybody's
heard
seen
mostly
that besides
good
us.
stuff.
But anyway, I'm just kidding. But with this, there were a lot of people I think kind of jumping the gun with it, and I wanted to have more of a like wait and see kind of attitude. And I tend to have two brains about this, where the initial look of it is certainly not what I would do if you gave me the keys to Green Lantern, but that doesn't mean that it's the wrong approach or would be a horrible approach. And so I don't know, like, and admittedly, I'm not a gigantic Green Lantern fan either. So, like, if I was a huge Green Lantern guy, like how much would I be put off if you took the green out of it, out of the title, and doing like a darker, like sort of R-rated detective series with it? Like, it's an angle that makes some sense with this property. It's just not the definitive straight off the page thing that people were hoping that Gunn would do when he got the keys to DC with every property. And so like I get the frustration with it, but like I said, I kind of want to take the thing on its own terms, and so I can simultaneously say like maybe that's not what I would want right out the gate, but like give it a shot. Does it work as APs? And I'll tell you if I think it does when it comes to my sign flip.
Yeah.
Why don't we go to Jason?
Okay. So I knew from the reveal that this was happening that this was the perfect show for me. And only me. And
Only me.
And I knew that everybody was gonna be like, "Oh, we don't need that, and we need a brighter show." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's perfect for me." And and this pilot didn't disappoint. This is a perfect episode of a television show. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I am very excited about where they go with it, and they can definitely ruin it, but and it being Lindelof, they probably will, but hopefully, but it's a really good pilot. Um, well, Robert took my backup best thing, and Austin took my actual best thing. So, I am just gonna say my favorite thing is, I guess just like the cast in general. And
Yes.
I think everybody's good, even besides the Green Lanterns. Like I think the supporting cast so far is good. And yeah, both Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are so good, and I was a little like this with Hal Jordan. I already don't love Hal Jordan as a character, and so I was
here comes
like,
the venom.
and here comes Hal Jordan is like,
The Green Lantern
but
fans are going to come at you with pitchforks,
I
and
know,
you
yeah.
and you're more of a Green Lantern guy than I am.
yeah,
I mean, like you.
but
you
Hal
grew
Jordan's
up-
not my favorite.
Jason grew up like really liking Green Lantern, really liking Flash, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I guess he's not my kid, but all right.
Yeah.
Every Green Lantern fan has their Green Lantern. It's not all Hal.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hal's boring. He just makes racetracks.
That see, you can't say that.
No, I can't.
Because
No,
then
I know.
that,
I know.
Because that's to say then that horrible movie.
Yeah, I know.
Spoilers for Friday. Is a like genuine adaptation. So don't say that.
But he kind of won me over on it because just his take on it is so different, and which is kind of needed after that movie. Like I feel like we can make this show to get us away from that movie, and then we can make an actual like more comic accurate Green Lantern thing later on, because now we've kind of refreshed ourselves with Green Lantern.
Sure.
And I hope that's what will happen. But I'm also really glad that this exists, and I hope it finishes well. That's not a good sentence. Worst thing, I'm kind of at the same place I was with Penguin. I don't think this is as good of a pilot as Penguin, but I am in the same place where it's like, it's only one episode. I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about it. But I will say, even though it only showed up for like 2 seconds in this episode, I don't love the suit. And it's not because it's not even the color. Like, I don't mind the color. It's so bulky. I don't think it looks good on Hal. I don't know.
You don't get it very long.
No. Not yet.
It's kind of not about that stuff yet.
I know. So it's like
it's very, retired superhero and up and coming superhero. Nobody's got suits yet because that's not what it. And I don't think it's like too cool for school, or they're shying away from that stuff. So much as and I guess I'll just, so you're flipping green.
yeah. Green for Lantern. Yeah. Yep.
I really don't think the issue here is that the people making the show think that Green Lantern is too silly to do it straight off the page. I think it's a couple of things. I think they decided to do it for whatever reason as a straight up HBO show, and there are certain like tonal expectations and content expectations with an HBO thing, and so they reimagined it for that network.
Yeah.
Now you can say, well, that's odd. They didn't have to do it that way. They could have just made it a Max thing and not a broadcast HBO thing. Why does it have to have those hallmarks? But I also think that the story that they've come up with lends itself really, really well with some of those hallmarks. Even though I agree with Robert that some of the vulgarity seems kind of tacked on, kind of forced in just because it's an HBO show. It does kind of feel like it's got a little bit of a quota thing, and I think there is a universe where this show is on regular broadcast outside of cable that is like somewhat hard edged, but like at least, I don't know, 12, 13-year-old kids could watch it.
Yeah.
But I also don't know just how far they're going to go with that
Right.
stuff. You know what I mean? I honestly expected this to be a lot rougher and, for lack of a better word, darker and more oppressive and more like intentionally kind of off-putting,
Yeah.
like a Penguin or something. I love the contrast between like this and something like Penguin, where, like I said, it does kind of have those HBO hallmarks. This is a lot lighter and more fun than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised I'm saying that. I know there's folks in the comments that are not going to agree with that are complaining that it's not good, Green Lantern adaptation. Again, I think there's an angle on it. I think it's about the 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 perspective that we have with Hal Jordan, uh, the grizzled and world weary, ready to be done with this life Green Lantern, and the new wet behind the ears guy, but who is like so ultra disciplined that he has no fun.
Yeah.
And like the show comes right out and says that in places, and I'm surprised how much fun I'm having with those two perspectives. Like it's
Yeah.
really surprising. And so I can see in it the larger off the page, brighter, fun, chippier, sillier Green Lantern world that they're discussing in it. And this is the angle for this show. This is the perspectives these people have. I think there is, like you said, Jason, absolutely a big screen, more for families, more for kids, Green Lantern thing that could be born out of this eventually.
Yeah.
I also think that gets weird because if kids see that, and I had this with Superman too, where like if kids were to retroactively see something that they are able to look at with Green Lantern and like that stuff, they can't watch the show,
Right.
you know, and so that sort of sucks for them.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can't go back and be informed by the stuff that informs all of that. I also think to Robert's point, and then I'll do my best thing, worst thing, that there's in a compensation thing, and I could see some people complaining over compensation. Like I said, trying to take the thing on its own terms, I think it worked great for the project they chose to make. Is it a little counterintuitive? Is it somewhat surprising that this is the direction they decided to go? Maybe, but like it works. Like I really enjoyed it while I was watching it. I think there's a compensation thing happening, trying to separate it as much from that movie as possible. I also think that it doesn't want to be too visually ambitious so that it looks good as a TV show.
Yeah.
It's going, if you're gonna go like off the page space cops, from regular Green Lantern comics, and you try to put that on screen with a TV budget, with a episodic TV budget, you're gonna risk winding up in a Legends of Tomorrow place. And so there's a lot of minimalism in this. And I think they're going to ramp up the effects and the action and things as it goes along.
Yeah.
They're going to peel the curtain back and you're going to start to see more and more of the space stuff. But I think they're going to stay relatively minimalistic as they go. And my best thing actually is the minimalism in it. And I
Yeah.
could see it feeling lame if I thought that you would never get any cool, like, alien aesthetics or aesthetics, prosthetics, and any of the, like, you know, alien designs and things. We've already seen glimpses of Sinestro. We've already seen the Manhunters. We know they're doing that stuff. So, like, to be fair, if all I had was the pilot and I didn't have any previews or anything, I might be a little iffy on just how minimalistic it is. I rarely get to say this. And this is a thing I preach a lot as a creative writing guy, and I do a workshop. I'm kind of a creative writing teacher. I talk a lot about how, like, there's a lot of situations where yes, you want show don't tell,
Yeah.
but you can have really interesting telling and really boring showing, and this show really gets that.
Sure.
There is gripping telling in this show. All of the, like, grander alien sci-fi stuff is just in discussion. We don't
Yeah.
get flashbacks to it. We don't get any shots, any like quick, you know, like gimmicky glimpses of it. You've got these really expensive sounding scenes that Hal Jordan is talking about, that like how he got the ring and Abin Sur's crash and all of that, that should feel really lame to me. And it's so well acted.
Yeah.
And like I believe the universe,
Yeah.
that I'm not needing to see that stuff on screen. I'm kind of liking the, you know, almost, and this is gonna sound like a dig. It's not. And it can't do this forever. I like the almost fan film quality of this, which is a really weird thing to say. But like, if you had $10 and you were making a fan film, that's how you would have to do that stuff. And shockingly, they're making it work on an HBO show.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't feel like they think it's all lame. It feels like they're going, that's not the focus of this show. And we know we can't make all of that look as good as we could in a feature film, which is where we'd rather do that stuff. That's how that watches. That's how it watches to me. I'm not sure where to go for worst thing except to just steal Roberts, because that was the main issue I had with this was I'm not sure just how like quote unquote adult this actually has to be. I'm trying to think of something else because I thought the script was really sharp. I thought all the banter between these two guys was really good. I thought it was really clever and creative with the sci-fi stuff, as minimalistic as it is. I'm really intrigued by the I I'm trying to decide how much to spoil right now. I'm really intrigued by the downloaded former consciousness of Hal Jordan that's in the ring. And I thought it was cool that we had a high concept thing like that early that kind of hits you sideways. It watched to me like a way more serious, but still what's the word I'm looking for? Not kitschy, um, still quirky in certain ways, Chris, just in the ways that the material is. Um, Men in Black. It's like a more serious Men in Black, that leans harder into the X-Files side than Men in Black did, which is kind of a place that I live.
Okay.
So this weirdly gave me both some of the quirky comic stuff and the harder edged X-Files mystery stuff. And I don't have that in my life right now with anything, so that was kind of exciting to get. And yeah, I see the angle with it, where Green Lantern lends itself to detective stories.
Yeah.
I will say I could see it feeling I could see the small town plot feeling too stretched thin by the end of the series. By the end of the season. And so that's not a complaint yet. That's not a worst thing. That is my biggest fear with this series, is that it will have the drawn out movie problem. I think being in a couple of different time periods probably helps that.
Yeah.
Where we're jumping between 16 and 26. I wondered if the whole show was, for a minute, until I remembered that Guy Gardner is in this and he's probably the same age that he is in Superman. For a minute, I thought maybe the whole show was going to be in 16. And I was like, that's a strange choice. You went 10 years earlier. Wait, oh, it's a period piece. But that's not what it is. So anyway, I am definitely feeling it. I don't have a lot of complaints right away. I can see how it could go real south. And I don't even mind the bleaker color palette just with the story they're telling. And like I said, there's kind of this juxtaposition where it looks bleaker than it felt to me. There was this kind of lightness to it that I'm sure some people won't see at all.
Which Penguin had too.
Yeah, but in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, totally. And
Penguin here's what I mean. Penguin had levity that helped with the bleakness of that show. This show doesn't even feel bleak to me. It's the opposite, where it's it's got some bleaker subject matter, but there's something just inherently kind of lighter about it.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know how many people are gonna have that with it, but I had more fun with it than I expected.
And the relationship between Hal and John does remind me a little bit of the relationship between Oz and Victor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just not.
Oh boy.
not that.
I'm sorry, John.
Yeah.
Not that.
Well, there's no way it
To
can
a certain
end the
extent.
same way.
So, to a certain extent, but
It could.
It could.
Not,
It could.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent. I just mean the juxtaposition between the two characters is similar enough that it did remind me of it.
Well, the big thing I wanted when Gunn got DC was Green Lantern, Green Arrow, but I was like, well, if we're not going to get that, I would like to see Lethal Weapon, Green Lantern, and I do feel like I'm getting some of that between the two leads.
Well, you are. I mean, we come right out and say maybe he wants to die. I mean, that's Lethal Weapon.
They're just swapped.
Yeah.
The crazy one's the older one.
Yes, but it is still the white guy that wants to die and the black guy that doesn't. So they did keep that the same.
That's what I mean. Like you took, it's like Mel Gibson's now the old one,
Oh yeah, right.
because he's like the crazy old guy. Yeah.
That's true.
No, but Hal in general like really brings the tone kind of lighter.
Yeah, which is weird
Because
because I thought
he's
that would be the thing that made it feel more oppressive, just because like he's done with all of this and he's maybe got kind of a death wish. But like there's a lot of charm in that character, and
he's got a lot of really good and funny lines. Like I love the
mhm.
bit when he's talking to the judge and he's like, "Well, you got to let me go. Like I'm just here to do an investigation." And they're like, "Okay, we got to report what bureau you work for." And he's like, "I'm Green Lantern."
I work
She's
for
like, "No, I didn't ask who you. I don't ask
the
who you were.
Green
What bureau do you work
Lanterns.
for?" "I'm Green Lantern. My bureau is Green Lanterns."
I don't know why he didn't say the Green Lantern Corps, because like they just sort of have not an Earth or an American bureau, but like there is an official name of that organization.
She doesn't know that. He's like, "I'm not bothering with you. Just let me out."
I'll be right back. Okay.
But like you have like that bar scene where, like you said, the like exposition and it's wonderful, but also at the
Yeah.
same time he's doing like the John Mulaney "What's New Pussycat" joke, where you just play the same song over and over on a jukebox, so that he can get into a fight with these rednecks and then get thrown in jail. So like all of that's really funny at the same time,
Well, and that
and it
was
doesn't
fun
feel
because
tonally at odds either.
no, it doesn't, and
Mhm.
you're wondering where in the world that's going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then when you finally find out,
No,
you're
but
like, well, that is a really convoluted but creative way to make this happen. Like, how hard would it be to just walk up to a guy and hit him with a pool cue? No, you've got to create a pretense for it.
well, what made me laugh is that like the first time watching it, he walks up to the jukebox, makes the 20, puts it in, puts in the song 3 times, and then turns to those guys and he's like, "Hello," and then
Yes.
walks away. And it's like,
It's like,
why
why'd you
did he
do
just
that?
do that?
Well, here's the thing. You said hits it 3 times, and you saw it twice, so maybe I'm wrong about this. I thought he hit it more than that, and I thought the idea was at first that he was picking different songs, and then when the same one plays, I'm like, he hit that like 9 times, so when he leaves, if those guys stay there, they are still hearing that song.
No, I counted it, and immediately when he starts fighting, a different song starts playing in the background.
Oh, that's
Uh,
true. You're right,
Okay.
and I the song that in we'll go ahead and get into spoilers now. But the song that's playing right after that is Leon Bridges' "Coming Home," which is one of my favorite records. I actually own that on vinyl, and that is. Like 60s R&B I think some tracks you could call border on doo-wop sort of record, but recorded in the mid 2010s and with the same kind of miking and everything that you would do from that period. So if you've never heard that, you cannot tell what era that was recorded in. It sounds like it goes back then. Leon Bridges is a genius. And Jason looks at me, and we both immediately recognize the song, and he goes, "This is very accurate to 2016," because we could not go into a restaurant in that year and not hear that song. Like it was in Five Guys every time.
but that's the it's not unusual part of the "What's New Pussycat" bit, where then it would go back to Brand New Key and play that a couple more times. You gotta have that other song slipped in to
There
make
was a
everyone
part
think
of
it's
me
done.
that wanted the music through the closing credits to be that song he had on repeat, and then I was like, that's probably too cheeky for what we're left with at the end of the episode, where it's
Yeah.
like it's a little solemn right at the end to maybe do that, but there's a part of me that wanted them to do that.
I said to Robert that should be the theme if it had an intro.
That'd be great. So, full on spoilers. Let's just go straight to the elephant in the room. It was rumored for a long time that Hal Jordan dies in the first episode, which made a lot of Green Lantern fans really upset because they were already not happy that we were starting with an older Hal and that the focus looked like it might be a lot more on John Stewart because Hal is retiring and all of that, and they didn't like the fed up grizzled take, and again just wanting a more direct adaptation so that we can start with Hal and build all of these characters instead of having a living and breathing world where we have all of them already. I see both sides to that, but I to some degree prefer this approach just because I it would take so long to eventually get to all those other characters, right? Like, Green Lantern kind of has the same thing that Superman does, where there's a period where you kind of just have one, and then like you have almost the Last Son of Krypton thing with Green Lantern, where it's like you have a singular Green Lantern, and then later on, we open the curtain and we have like a bunch of human Green Lanterns, and you have to either be in a world where you've had that for a long time, or you have to build to it very slowly. And the only way you could do that in this established DCU now would be to make this whole thing a period piece, I guess. And I guess you could have made it maybe an anthology show where it's set in different eras. Like there's ways to do it, I suppose. Um, but but anyway, I just wanted to talk about the fact that rumor turned out to be true, and that he is dead at the end of the episode. But we're like I said, doing the same thing that Paradise does, where we kill a character off right away, but he's still one of the main characters because we keep going back to the past with that character. Does
Yeah.
it? I do you guys think there's any reason to like be worried about that or be disappointed with that? Do you think he's probably not gonna be full on dead even after the first season? Like how do you feel about the whole thing? That was rambly. I apologize.
That's okay. There's like 8 million ways to build off of the ending of this episode.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I'm like, my immediate reaction was, okay, there's so many ways you can jump off of this, and I just don't know what lane we're in. So I do kind of feel like I need to see more to kind of get a grasp of that. At the same time, I really think there's more to that. I don't think he's fully dead. I also assumed coming into this he would probably die in the season, and I still think we're doing some sort of parallax thing.
Yep.
So who knows? I could also see them doing some sort of rebirth thing. I have no idea. Like I said, there's a million ways. We're dealing with shapeshifters. Like there's so many
Yeah.
ways you can go off that ending.
Yeah, like I'm not saying this is actually my prediction, but like in this episode, we're also introduced to the idea of alien shapeshifters that can pass completely as humans. Like, who's to say that's even his body at the end?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what
Like, there's so many outside of this. Like Austin was saying, and yeah, like I'm not gonna say I'm excited by that choice because I like Hal Jordan, and I just want a great Hal Jordan in live action, and so far Kyle Chandler's been fantastic. But like you said, if that sticks, it's like okay, there are so many different ways to read it because if it sticks, it's like well, at least you're telling us up front and not just stringing us along and like look, he's still a main character of the show because we're going to keep flashing back to that stuff. I am guessing because I didn't see any of those leaks. I just knew there was something leaked that people found out about and were angry about, but I'm guessing out of context what a lot of people heard and thought was, oh, Hal dies in the first episode and then never shows up again.
Right.
And that's obviously not the case.
And that we've got to
So-
make room for Jon Stewart, and people were reading, of course, the political things into that, where it's like we can't let the main white guy be the main character of the show, and all of that, and I'm like, let's not get too excited, like let's look at the thing and see what they're actually doing, because clearly it's gonna be dual protagonist at least this season, like up until that happens. I disagree with you guys both, though. I think it absolutely is his real dead body for a couple of reasons, and that doesn't mean he'll stay dead. And I'm with Austin. I think they're likely to build it to a parallax thing.
Yeah, I mean, I also been like, it could be his body.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying it's a possibility. There's a million things.
same.
you could do.
There's two main reasons I think it probably almost certainly is. One of them is just the attitude that the producers have about the whole thing. where it's like, here's this big twist. Nobody was seeing that coming. Everyone saw that coming. I could not get away from it online. But they think that's so cool and shocking. And yeah, they could just be making you think that's what it is. The attitude they have, the way they're talking about it, I really don't think that. And the second thing is, why else would you introduce a consciousness for him in the ring in the first 5 minutes of the episode? Like, they've
I also
given
was
us an
thinking
out
of that.
Yeah,
so that even past this first
that's
season,
another
if he's
possibility.
dead, the actor can stick around and he's not really dead. So it's his body, almost certainly. 98% sure that he's actually dead.
I also think that bit in the bar is also kind of an important meta line, possibly, where he's about to get his ass kicked, and he's like, "This is about to look really bad, but like, just let it happen. Like, don't intervene. There's more to what you're seeing than what's actually happening."
That's a good point.
And then he like walks off. I think there's potentially something there. But like I said, there's 8 gajillion ways you could jump off that, and yeah, the
Yeah.
hologram thing is one of them.
It'd also be cool if he is dead for real. If we bring him back as the Spectre at some point, I would like that. I think that would be fun.
And that came
Um,
up in the like producer podcast thing
Yeah,
for
Tom
the
King mentioned
episode. So who knows? It's possible.
And I think Cap is absolutely right because like they've talked about potentially doing a season 2, even though I don't think it's officially greenlit yet. But it's not like anyone has said. It's not like Kyle Chandler or any of them has said like, "Oh yeah, this is a one and done for me. I'm never coming back." And like you're absolutely right, Cap, that the hologram is a potential out to let him stick around and still be a part of the show in season 2. Like that is totally possible.
Well, and Penguin watched like a show that wanted to be a miniseries, and this watches like a show that wants to go on for 5 years to
Yeah.
me. I like I don't see any good reason that this would want to just be a one and done. There's so much, obviously, lore and mythology to explore with the Green Lantern stuff, and I could see, uh, again, with that more ambiguous title with Lanterns, I could see even the tone shifting over time. I we're right now it looks, again, it's got that bleaker color palette, it's more understated and all of that because we're in this small town and because we've got a protagonist that doesn't that isn't happy with his life, doesn't want to do this anymore, is struggling with the uh like negative parts of fame and all of that. And then you've got a John Stewart who was raised to be real cold and calculating and rigid, and his dad was a crazy person, but luckily a very good shot. And I so the tone of this season just again fits the material. I can see a second season that feels quite a bit different from this once we get outside of this town.
Mhm.
And I think it would be kind of neat if it was anthology in that way. I also keep in mind that they're looking real hard at True Detective, which is an anthology show.
Yeah. Because like
Mm.
even if we presumably keep John, as the lead throughout the show, I'd imagine each season would be a completely different story,
Yeah, and
um,
jumping around in different places.
different
And
cases. Yeah,
No, the big thing I had more so with the ending of just like, oh, this is a thing I know off of this is just. I think it's interesting that John doesn't seem to be a Green Lantern in 2026.
yeah, he's not.
Because the first thing he does is look for the ring, and then the other one being, oh god, now I can't think of. I had two things. I was thinking about it a minute ago, and now I'm like, god damn it, now I don't remember what the second one was.
yeah. Based on all the information we have, the implication seems to me to be that like when we see Guy Gardner and Superman in 2025, like he is Earth's only Green Lantern.
Yeah.
At that point, that's the implication to me. But we'll see.
And that's also the
Yeah, and they
implication
have
you get
different
from, again,
rings, so
the
I'm like,
producers talking, where they think somehow it's going to be a surprise that is the sole Green Lantern.
but they also have different rings, so there could be like some sort of twist with that as well.
Mhm.
Like maybe that ring went missing or something, and they just made another one. I don't know.
Yeah, they are talking about it like, unless I missed something, like, since you're only going to have one Green Lantern on Earth, you've got to pass the ring to another person. Because like I don't think
Yeah.
John Stewart's going to get his own. I think he has to have Hal's, and then I think the way they'll play it is he'll have it over that last decade and give it up at some point.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we'll end in a place where there's more than one human Green Lantern.
Most certainly, especially with that title.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's plural. So you're right. More rings will come at some point, but I don't think we've got them yet. Even by 2026, I don't think there's more than one. Like I think
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I think the one Gardner has will be the same one Hal's got.
Like I said, they are different rings, at least in terms of design.
Oh, are
so
they really?
I'm not
Well,
sure.
yeah,
Like,
they are.
Well,
they
forget
are.
what
Yeah.
I
So
just said. I don't know what I'm talking
but
about.
it could also just be like we designed a ring for the
Cosmetic
Superman
thing.
movie that's like a
Yeah.
small background thing, whatever. Like you can change it for the Lantern show. It's fine. So
Yeah.
that is still possible.
Yeah, we tweak things
Yeah,
all the
'cause
time
they're-
like that.
Yeah, because there's a quote from Tom King on that podcast where he talks about it like the ring guy has is Hal's, but
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just misleading or if I just like misinterpreted what he was saying. But like I don't know if what he meant was just, well, there's only one human lantern with the ring. I don't know if he meant that literal same ring. I don't know. Like Austin's right, it looks different, but maybe they don't care. I don't know.
Tom King's using his CIA trickery on you, so you won't guess what happens in the show.
It is kind of surreal to see Tom King and Damon Lindelof's names on a pilot script. They had 4 writers on this.
Yeah, because my understanding is King is the one who pitched this idea in the first place, and like I'm sure
That's
it would
not
have
surprising.
turned out very. I'm sure it would have
No,
turned
it
out very
feels
differently.
like one of his minis or maxis. Sorry.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna say earlier. For people worried, like, oh, this looks too grounded, or like it doesn't care about the mythology. I'm like, and especially that we've seen the pilot. I'm like, no, this just looks like, whether you'd like it or not, this just looks like a Green Lantern miniseries Tom King would write.
Yeah.
Like it's just his sensibilities and approach to that material.
They also do pepper in like quite a bit of Green Lantern mythology, and I thought they did a really good job of knowing exactly how much to put in just this episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of exposition in this episode, but it's
Yeah, and like I
mostly
said,
really well handled.
it's not boring exposition. I will say I'm glad I'm already familiar with this material, because some of that might be a little overwhelming, or you wouldn't even know what to latch onto and what's really important if you aren't already familiar with it. So like it's there, it's giving you everything you need. It doesn't read supplemental, but it is helpful if you're somewhat familiar with this stuff already.
Fair. My only counter argument to that is having seen the Game of Thrones shows, is those are HBO shows that those are stories that just throw you into the deep end of that world and just kind of let you catch up and figure things out as it's going. So I'm not saying that'll work or not. I'm just saying I could see like the rationale behind that on the HBO side of things, of like, oh yeah, like we know people can handle exposition and deep, heavy lore.
Well, and I'm actually talking more about character motivation stuff. I like more of
Sure.
of the lore that you need to understand where Hal was and where he's at now. I feel like I appreciate that more just because I'm familiar with some of that stuff than I might
That's
if I might be overwhelmed if I was getting all of that at once. Like the version of him in 1996 that's wet behind the ears and excited about being a Green Lantern, and like talking about his days as a test pilot and his father who died in a plane crash, which the news callously shows the footage of. Which I laughed out loud. I was like, "Wow, that's horrible." They showed the actual footage of the plane exploding that his father was in, as they're doing a puff piece on him. That's hilarious. But that and then later on his talking about like Abin Sur, and his spaceship crash, which never occurred to me that there's kind of a parallel with his father dying with that. I never really thought about that until just now. It doesn't get into why a Green Lantern would need a spaceship. That's always a question with the background.
It's
of
very
that.
convoluted. Don't worry about it.
Because Parallax was killing Abin Sur, even though he was the only one that captured him back in the day.
No,
and
no.
now
That's not what we're talking about.
and Parallax has now come to Earth, and he has slowly infected Hal, which is why he's gray-haired and darker now.
Do you guys?
That sounded really rough, like together. That's not what I meant. I meant his personality is a little darker.
So I said
Oh boy,
earlier.
it's
I
hot
said
in this room.
I said earlier that it's compensating some or maybe a lot in like wanting to separate itself from that movie and wanting us not to think about that. I don't know who's thinking about that anyway. Like it didn't perform, and most people probably haven't seen that in 16 years. But at the same time, it also watched. And this is where I'm sympathizing a little bit with Green Lantern fans, even though I did really like this. It also watches weirdly like it exists in a world where we did already have a a good adaptation of this material. Where it's like, well, we don't need to do that. We had that already. So like, here's like some of that exposition about Hal Jordan's backstory sort of reads like we're reiterating something that people would know already because there was that good adaptation already. And no, we never had that, but it kind of watches like that. Like this feels like the piece that you would get where it's like, okay, we've been there and done that. We've already done Green Lantern well. Now let's do like a different kind of more adult spin on it. Like we've done with a lot of other things that did get better adaptations, and I just think that's kind of funny.
Well, it's a lot like Superman, how it approaches being in a limited universe and not feeling the need to show all that stuff.
Yeah, we don't care about origins in this world. I did like that bit with the sheriff where she's like, "Look, we all know that aliens are on Earth, and like it's different seeing it on TV versus like now there's just a bunch of dead aliens in your backyard."
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was a good explanation for why it would still phase people and why people would still be in denial about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and especially you're like, that's like in Metropolis, all that stuff happens. It doesn't happen in Nebraska.
Yeah.
And
this situation would be very different if it was happening in a big city where like aliens are probably blowing up the town square every week or something. Like it feels like
exactly.
a town that time forgot, which gives you a really good loophole to make. And I mean, you got to be careful with the rest of the world, but at least for where we're at right now, it gives you a good loophole so that your world can look relatively like the real one and still buy all of the broader comic book stuff.
And in the context of this universe in 2016, Superman's not a thing yet. We don't have like that champion alien superhero of Earth yet. And like with Hal Jordan, like he deals with aliens, but he is a human, so that's I think easier for people to adjust to and accept.
Yeah, and you can see how this world produced a Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a good point. You know what's so ironic about that too? I meant to say this earlier, Robert. We have a world where Superman comes relatively pretty late. And you've already got an established DC universe with a Green Lantern who's been around for a good couple decades before Superman shows up. Because we don't get Superman until I think the year that movie came out, right?
2022 would be because it's 3 years before 2025.
Oh, okay. So pretty close to that though. So that means that this universe maybe like down the road I'm sure we'll get like some Justice Society stuff. I think maybe even Creature Commandos brought in some of that. I can't remember. But like with just the live action stuff so far, that means that this world kind of starts with Green Lantern like the movie tried to do. Like the movie wanted that to be the beginning of a shared universe. It crashed and burned and then they came back and they started with Superman. Now retroactively we're saying we kind of did that again.
Yeah, there's a mural to some of that stuff in Superman, and then Green Lantern in '86 is like the big hero.
Yeah, because it seems like for hundreds of years there's been like metahumans and stuff, but Hal's in this universe seems to be the first superhero who, after a while, like really went public and like revealed his identity and everything. So he seems to be the first in that regard.
And I never thought that was a bad idea. Like even with that movie, it's just the movie was bad. But like starting
Mhm.
your DC universe with Green Lantern, I never thought was a bad idea, and it's kind of fun in contrast to this point is neither here nor there, but like was always kind of a fun idea in contrast with Marvel, where like you start with Cosmic instead of like opening the curtain back to it, which seems kind of on brand for DC as opposed to
Mhm.
starting with a more street level hero, relatively like Iron Man.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think Tom King's pitch for this was just Western Green Lantern and this town ain't big enough for the two of us, so they both have to share a ring?
Could have been. But before he pitched that, remember for several years there was a Greg Berlanti
Yeah.
Green Lantern HMX
Yep.
TV show in development that never materialized, which sounded awful, and I'm really glad we never got that, and sounded like the more Legends of Tomorrow thing Cap was worried
One,
about. That
how was he
could have been.
allowed to work on that? He wrote that movie.
Well, not only that, how was he allowed to like start all the CW shows? Like that's all post Green Lantern and like very quickly. It's like he fails with Green Lantern in 2011 and then Arrow just right after that. Unless that was already
No,
in
I know,
development.
but Cap, like Green Lantern happens, and they're like, Green Lantern is poison. Never touch
Yeah.
this again.
Yeah, and then they give it the same
And then
time.
when, you want to make Green Lantern again? We're finally gonna do it again.
But I don't get why they
You
would
can
hand him
do
the
it.
keys to anything. And it's hilarious that it started with Arrow. It's the other green character who's very associated with Green Lantern. And they have Green Lantern references from the pilot. Ferris Air is there right away.
Yeah. And that show was so bizarre too, because like he wasn't like allowed to use Hal or John just because they were still gonna show up in the movies again at some point. So in that show, it was gonna
forgot
be
about
like
that.
Alan Scott, Guy Gardner, Simon Baz, and Jessica Cruz. And it was gonna be set in different eras. I don't know. It was very strange. It
Well,
probably wouldn't have worked.
and they tried to spin Diggle off into a Green Lantern show. Which would have been even a
That
different
too.
thing than that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because
Oh yeah.
he gets the ring at the end of Arrow, but they don't actually say Green Lantern anywhere. It's like they're not allowed to say it. And then there's been a lot of interviews with what's his face who played John Diggle that they were in active development of that. It almost happened.
We love your
And-
real name, John Stewart.
I think that started as like an internet theory of, well, he's a black guy named John. He could be John Stewart, and they went, "That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's make him Green Lantern." Like,
Well,
that's
especially
what
because there were
happened.
all these references to Green Lantern things and they never did anything with it. It's like the one pocket of the universe they just never went to, and I don't know if they weren't allowed to or what, but well, it's not the only
Yeah, it was
one.
very
They
strange.
also had that with Ted Koren.
Yeah.
And all these references to Koren Enterprise, then they never did a Blue Beetle in that show. I'll never
And
understand
even
that
the Blue
either.
Beetle movie, it's like, Ted Card's missing.
I've still never seen that.
You'd probably like it. It's all right.
And to what you were talking about earlier, Cap, I too also just kind of had a wait and see attitude with this,
Yeah.
because I understand for some fans like this not being exactly what you wanted, but you know, Austin mentioned Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and even if it's not literally adapting that run, it's clearly like looking at the spirit of it, you know, grounding him and telling these more American socially conscious stories. And you know, there's lots of different like Green Lantern's been a lot of different things over a lot of decades. Like, yeah, there's big cosmic adventure stuff, but he's also just a superhero on Earth solving Earth crimes a lot of the time too. Like, there's lots of different pockets of that mythology to pull from, and at least to me so far, it's like, yeah, how much we see of the Guardians or other Lantern members or whatever, it's like, at least like we're talking about that stuff, like it's canon. We're not just stripping all that away and saying that never happened or
And that's what I'm
isn't
saying.
canon.
They
So,
don't think it's stupid.
yeah.
Can we at least get a Guardian in that, like, next time on teaser?
Yeah, but you know
Mhm.
people will complain that we're just going to see that in a human form.
No, but we
And
also see like a human like transform into a Guardian for
I
like a split
know.
second from the back.
I know, but you're gonna see that for 10
yeah.
seconds, and then most of the time it's gonna be an elderly lady,
Yeah.
you know, human construct, and everybody's gonna go look how cheap and lame they are, and they think that stuff is stupid. My question is, like, how much of a CG fest do you want this to be on a TV budget? Like, that is a question. This does have a little bit of that, and I think there's a debate to be had, because this has that Spider-Man question for me of, can you, like, effectively translate Green Lantern to television? In the same way that I wonder, can you do web swinging every week and make it look good? Like, we made a $200 million Green Lantern movie and could not nail the look of it. Now that's not to say that it can't be done. But like the one time we tried, we had more money than sense, and we couldn't make it look good. We're like, the costumes were CG. It was just kind of heads planted on. Well, we'll talk about it on Friday, but like how so many of the big cosmic things. If you wanted that every week, I don't know how you'd make it look good on the budget you would have for an HBO show.
I mean, it's possible.
It's just a question.
I mean, like, I don't know. Game of Thrones got pretty big with what they were able to pull off with dragons and just
Sure.
scale of it. So, like, I think it's possible.
I'm just asking the question because I'm not sure.
Mhm.
And you could split the middle too, because you're not going to be in space every week. It would still be an Earth-based show, and you even have people complaining about that, where they're like, "Oh, it's lame that we didn't make a like space-based Green Lantern Corps show." And to Austin's point, like, and I guess Robert talked about this too. The Green Lantern has a like long history of it's one space cop who's on Earth. I think. And again, this is why I sympathize a little bit with Green Lantern fans, because a lot of people got big into this as a property because of Jeff Johns' kind of soft reboot with it. And he likes the grander space stuff. And again, he brought in the Spectrum and all of that. And so that's what a lot of fans think Green Lantern just like is at its, for to go punny, its core. And it isn't just that. And so I saw somebody, I think it was Senior Sticks in the comments, that said, this is like the first Thor movie all over again. Like I totally disagree with that, because the problem with that movie isn't that Thor's on Earth, it's that we don't do enough with Asgard, because that's where he's from. And this is a totally different case, where it's like it's a human being that gets powers from another world. You don't have to go there right away. Like, there's no reason. I don't think we'd be frustrated that we didn't spend the whole pilot on Oa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, we're still dealing with cosmic stuff. Like Robert kind of said, like 80% of Green Lantern comics take place on Earth.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, I prefer the core stuff also, because I'm more of a like space sci-fi guy, and like I like my space operas, and I never read a lot of Green Lantern because I wasn't in love with that premise. But like, just taking this on its own terms, like, A, it works, and B, yeah, that kind of is what this property always used to be anyway. Not necessarily like the darker detective angle, but just being set on Earth. Like I'm hearing people that are frustrated even with just, oh, it's set on Earth, and I'm like, well, I don't know if that's fair. It doesn't have to be what you want, but that's not the part of it that's like counterintuitive and crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I also just remembered my second thing. What threw me off is because I said this scene establishes two things moving forward, and that was not what I was thinking beforehand. I was just going to say, like, I have two things with that scene. The other one was that had been spoiled for me going into it, and it made that interrogation scene so much more intense, because I was like, oh man, he actually is like about to die in the scene. That's crazy. And then obviously that's not where it went, and it just made for like a really cool viewing experience the first time. Like I said, that's what threw me off, is because I said the wrong thing.
Yeah, I did find myself wondering at first why he was why the the guy, the alien saying the oath set him off the way it did. And then I like I would have expected it to make sense later, but I guess I was glad that you had it in the preview just so that now I'm not confused about it. Because the preview was like, oh, he did something to break the oath. Oh, that's why he's upset that the guy said the oath. Okay, like he's real sore about that, so he doesn't want to hear the oath because he broke it, and that's part of why he's like he's so world weary now. Is like he's probably feeling guilty about something.
He's got parallax in him.
Maybe. I'm not gonna say this is exactly what they're doing, but for now, my headcanon is how Jordan becomes Green Lantern in this universe, and the Guardians are like, oh, whatever, he'll die in like 2 years, whatever, it's fine, and he's just lived way longer than they expected. So like, screw it, go train that Jon Stewart guy. He's gonna be your replacement. We're annoyed that you're still alive. That's my current headcanon until they say otherwise.
That's really funny.
And then he'll fail, and then in 10 years he'll give it to Guy.
Robert, it's like a Buffy thing where, like, if you're the Slayer, you're not expected to live very long. Like, you're not even going to see your 21st birthday. And yeah, I bet it actually is that. Jayson, you've been real quiet. What else? Okay, I think we are live again. Apologies, everybody. I got kicked off of OBS and Discord, had to restart my machine and everything. It was a whole ordeal. Parallax came for us, Austin.
No,
I'm telling you, it's parallax. We were the only ones that could capture him, and he came back and he killed us.
So anyway, if our connection remains stable, here in a few minutes, we'll move on to the other thing we were going to review tonight. But Jayson, tell us real quick if there's anything else you want to talk about, because you've been kind of quiet.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was just, I mean, I loved it, but it was just a pilot. So I hope that
he's like, why have you guys talked about this?
I will have more to say with the rest of the show, but I kind of said my piece on it. I thought specifically how Jordan was really good. And I'm glad that we don't just kill him off and we don't see him. And I knew they were gonna do that because they're not crazy. But I'm glad that they're doing kind of the Paradise thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking the same thing, even though we hadn't talked about that. I was pretty sure that's what you meant when you said Paradise thing.
Yes, the only difference is that the mystery in Paradise is who killed the guy.
Yeah.
That we'll then keep seeing throughout. So James Marsden plays the president in that, and he's killed in the first 5 minutes of that show. And in this, we don't get the death until the very end of the first episode.
Right.
But it's a similar kind of thing.
But if it's like unintentionally the same thing because it was leaked. So everyone's like wondering how he dies
it's just the premise of the show in the same way Paradise is. Yeah.
James Marsden also could have had a double role in this show. He could have been that rich guy and his lawyer son, because John sleeps with the lawyer son's wife, and then Hal's the dad's wife, and then Hal is definitely going to sleep with the lawyer son's wife, which is also a little funny that the younger one slept with the older one, and the older ones will sleep with the younger one. But anyways.
I think that was really funny.
It's very fitting for James Marsden.
We've only been here 24 hours, and then he was like, "Good job."
I was like,
it was great
when it was like revealed that like she came out. I was like, "Oh wait, she's a lot older than I thought."
I think you're supposed to think that.
Yeah,
I mean, they intentionally shot it that way. Yeah, we're like in that darker bar. You can't really tell her age as much.
Exactly. Jayson, what school does Harry Potter go to?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that.
He must be an alien.
Yeah.
Boy Wizard. They only made like 22 of them.
Yeah, I really liked the kind of delay with that joke where he uses that as a tell to see if he's an alien, and then right at the end of it, he's like, "Hogwarts, you idiot!"
Yeah, that just being a test in general with like figuring out an alien, I thought was really cool.
That was
Yeah.
such a good scene.
That was really smart. Well, and I was gonna say earlier, everybody is pretty intelligent in this show. I I would be wondering why characters aren't asking certain questions and then they would immediately ask them. Which is usually a sign that you can trust the writing and that everything's gonna make sense and pan out at the end. Or at the very least that it's written character driven and that the character's motivations will make sense, even if there's convoluted or contrived stuff in the plot, right? So there's a place where I turned to Jason and I was like, I don't know why this sheriff isn't picking up on Hal's plan to get arrested on purpose. And then the very next scene, she goes, "It's like you wanted to get arrested on purpose." And I was like, "Good script, you nailed that. Way to go."
There's also that scene earlier on the football field when Jon Stewart wants to just go in head first, and she's like, "Yeah, I know. I didn't want to spook him, so he wouldn't run away."
You know what the real reason she spotted Hal's plan though was? It was 2016, and there was like 800 movies in the last couple of years that had that exact plot point. She was like, "Come on, you." He wanted to get caught.
If this was Men in Black, that alien would have right after that, before he ran, blinked his eyes and then blinked another set of eyes.
Yeah.
It would have been that scene. Anyway,
Oh man.
Austin, the only other thing I wanted to say about this real quick is the tone of it, and I had this from the trailer too, and then I really had it in the episode. Some of the tone of it and just the setting, reminds me a lot of Absolute Green Lantern, and that's so surreal given how recent that material is.
Yeah, and I know one of the things that they looked at, and it was like the concept, or not concept art, but you know what I mean, like the image they showed when they announced this during the slate was Earth One Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So maybe there's just some similarities between the two of them. I'm not sure.
Maybe so, 'cause I've never read
But I
that.
was thinking a bit of that too.
Yeah, have you read Earth One? Because I have not.
I've not, no. But I was having the same thing with Absolutes. Then I was like, maybe there's also similar stuff in Earth One. I'd like to read it. I've heard it's good.
There's 2 or 3 of those I never got around to. I think they did a Teen Titans. I
think-
never read that.
Yeah, I think there's even more than one Teen Titans, and I know there's 2 Green Lanterns.
Okay, cool. And I don't know if they did another Wonder Woman. I didn't like that first one, so I never looked into that.
Yeah, they did a whole trilogy.
Oh, did they really?
Mhm.
Okay. Maybe it gets better. I
Uh,
don't know. And I never finished Batman. There's a third one of those. I never got to that.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
yeah.
I haven't prioritized it.
Jason, you mentioned earlier that Hal's not your favorite. Like, do you have a favorite Green Lantern?
Yeah, it's Guy Gardner. And
Nice.
Kilowog. I have a very interesting taste in Green Lantern.
Everyone loves Kilowog. But like to Cap's earlier like concern or question about like can you pull off like the cosmic
Mine's
stuff on
Jon
the
Stewart, by the way, so I have a gigantic bias with this. And
Yeah.
and this actor is so straight off the page
Perfect.
to me. He's picture perfect, and the man has no pupils. It's like they either hired an actor that has no pupils or they gave him contacts so he would look more like that. Because when I look at Jon Stewart, it's just like white eyes much of the time. And he's just like he's so cold that I don't know how they
There is.
and I didn't think, Robert, that I'd ever seen this actor before. He's in Krypton, and I forgot all about it. He's one of the main characters in that.
Oh.
I know.
I know he's also in the Shyamalan classic Old, which I haven't seen yet.
That's where Hal went. He went to the beach that makes you old.
But yeah, Cap. No, like that actor has green eyes. Like that's just what his eyes look like. It's awesome.
Wait, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, he just has green eyes. Like they look really cool.
They just found Jon Stewart. Who is your favorite Lantern then, Robert? We got Cap and Jason's.
Oh, I'm a
yeah.
Hal guy more than any of them, but I like them all.
That makes sense.
And then Austin
Mine
has
is
Kyle Rayner.
Fire Sector Joe.
No!
Whatever her name
No.
was. Oh, what? I liked her. She was great.
No, you didn't. I was there.
I also like Alan Scott, who hasn't been
Alan
mentioned.
Scott is cool. I agree.
We've got a bit of a lag now. Can you guys hear us okay?
Yet.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah, I think it like maybe lagged for a second, but I think it's better.
Okay, I'm getting an error message on YouTube, so hopefully we don't have too much buffering for the audience. Apologies, guys. I don't know what's going on with my connection. But I don't love that after I just got my fiber fixed.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, any last words real quick on this before we move on to our movie for the evening?
Man, I had a thought.
I hope we get Red Lanterns because I think they could be really cool.
Oh yeah, they could be super cool. Oh, him putting $20 in a jukebox is really funny. Because that's a lot of money for a jukebox.
That whole scene's great.
And he's technically right when he says it's not counterfeit because that money's not actually in there now. Like it disintegrates afterwards.
Right.
Well, and to your concern about like the budget and doing this on TV budget, yeah, like if we ever do Atrocitus, like can you pull off like a big CGI character like that as a main character in the show? I don't know. That sounds expensive, but at least as far as like the constructs and everything go, I think they look good.
It looks
and,
good.
like they're used sparingly, but creatively. And I agree with a prediction you had earlier that stuff I think is going to build episode by episode with the spectacle and everything. Yeah, and again, like I didn't hate that first teaser or anything, but maybe they just released it too early because that first teaser, of course, had like no like construct stuff in it, and people are like, "Oh no, we're not even doing that." And I'm like, "Okay, the show's still a year out. It's too like the effects aren't done yet." And so far, I don't have any complaints in terms of that stuff.
They also mostly advertised it on this first episode, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even know Manhunters were in this until like a month ago when they put out another trailer.
Yeah, that initial trailer was all this, and I don't
like
think
we have no idea what Sinestro, like how he fits into any of this. Like it's going to be very interesting.
But it was smart of them to do a trailer that had more of the lore in it. Because the hardcore fan base was like suddenly more intrigued and was like, oh, okay, I guess they do like some of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I like Manhunters. I'm excited to see them.
I do too. No, it's cool. Senior Sticks earlier had a super chat I didn't read. I'll just do this real quick. $2 super chat. He said, "What if the town was called Greenville?" Well, luckily it's not, because that would be dumb.
Oh.
All the Greens down in Greenville go to their lanterns.
Okay, let's move on now. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about a dinosaur movie, but not the dinosaur movie Austin really wants to talk about. So we all saw the end of Oak Street. Oh no! He has a plan. He's going.
He's tearing down his set like Zad or whatever it's called.
Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick before we do that, I want to read this comment from Obsidian, the Library Archives. That's so good.
I wasn't prepared for the Disney dinosaurs.
Robert, that's fantastic. It's really too bad that you didn't like jump off set and then like have a Green Lantern t-shirt on the first place and like pull that off and you have that underneath it.
That's what Austin said. I don't have a Green Lantern t-shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry if I missed that. Obsidian Archives Cap. Could you imagine Gunn doing a World's Finest after Man of Tomorrow if he gets the green light because the director is doing Welcome to Derry Season 2 and other projects? I don't think there is any universe in which James Gunn would introduce Batman in a Batman Superman movie after BVS. I don't think that would
No.
ever happen.
I still maintain I could see him doing Brave and the Bold,
Yes.
but it won't be World's Finest.
I could see him being the person that directs that. I agree, but there's no way he introduced Batman in a Superman movie. You just wouldn't repeat that.
Watch, now he's in Man of Tomorrow. He's going to show up.
And there's been a lot of rumor about that.
He's frozen and shot in the head.
There's a difference though, and I don't think that will happen either. But I could more see Gunn introducing Batman in a minor role or even in a cameo in a Superman movie than a movie that is about the both of them with World's Finest and I just don't see it after BVS.
And also, and we'll see what happens, but there's still rumors persisting that maybe Wonder Woman first appears in Man of Tomorrow. And if that's true, there's absolutely no way he introduces Wonder Woman and Batman in his Superman sequel. So we'll see.
Again, unless it's just really super minor. But I doubt it. And then you'd have to keep the problem is that's where all the press would be. Like, those characters are too big, especially Batman, that you're not going to hide who you cast. Like, all the news would be these moving forward are our actors for these characters, and people would be laser focused on, even if they were just cameo roles, even if they got 60 seconds apiece, that's all anybody would be talking about. And I think Gunn is smarter than to make all the discourse about that movie about Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like people.
Half of the press tour up for Superman was just, when is Batman coming already?
Exactly.
Yeah, and people still think that the DCU's Batman has been cast for Clayface, to which I say, there's no way that wouldn't have leaked.
Nope.
By now.
No, if Batman's in that,
like Hulk's son.
I was gonna say, if Batman's in that, he's in the background, he's in shadow,
he's background.
Not cast. He has you won't hear him. There won't be a voice.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think if he's in that movie, it'll be like Creature Commandos, just like a flash to like a shadow.
Yep.
No, he's played by me.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
yeah.
You're telling us here first.
Yep.
Well, I think it's quite a coup that only 25 people know about that so far.
I know.
That's
amazing. Not gonna get leaked out because nobody's gonna know about it. So, yep.
So wait a minute. We've got a Superman that's like 30, a Hal Jordan that's 90, and then a Batman that's 8. What the hell are we doing, Gunn?
You cast a 16-year-old to play Batman. What the hell?
Exactly.
Okay, look, Robert has already redressed his whole set, so we've got to get to the dinosaur movie. Austin, would you? Well, you know what? I had you do the synopsis for the last one. Let's have Robert do this one. Yeah. Robert, tell us a little bit about The End of Oak Street.
Oh my God! The End of Oak Street is the new sci-fi dinosaur movie from writer-director David Robert Mitchell, who wrote and directed the movie It Follows, which I'm a big fan of. This is also produced by J.J. Abrams, and it's set in 1982. It stars Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway as the parents of this family, and then their whole neighborhood, their whole street, winds up in the age of the dinosaurs. And shenanigans ensue, and it's kind of like Poltergeist with dinosaurs. Like that's the pitch. That's the movie.
That was real succinct. Well done.
Like,
that is the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. I have never seen It Follows. Is this only his second movie after that? Because that movie's like 12 years old.
No, we did one of his other movies, which is that Under the Silver Lake movie with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. Which I remember liking okay.
Yeah, it's good.
And that movie didn't do well, and then he was in director's jail for like 8 years.
And his next movie is They Follow. So it's like we really need to break out of director's jail.
And that's been in development hell for over a decade. Like, they've been talking about that for forever.
Yeah, for sure.
And this struck me as a little risky of a project. Like, isn't immediately going to set the world on fire. Like, dinosaur movies that aren't Jurassic Park tend to get kind of overlooked, and there haven't been great ones. And I think people, I don't know, the Jurassic World movies always do well, but at least
Mhm.
like in our circles, it seems like there's a lot of dinosaur fatigue, or at least Jurassic Park fatigue. I so like, this isn't immediately a clear winner or anything. They didn't given the creature effects and I mean like the visual effects and how ambitious this is as a project. It didn't cost a crazy amount to make. Like it's not even $100 million, and
Yeah.
you'd think you'd have a more bloated budget for a thing like this. So you
Well,
you got to give them they were real careful about how much they spent on it, knowing that it probably wasn't going to have a gigantic opening weekend.
we're really scared to make big budget dinosaur movies. I mean, as we saw in the '90s after Jurassic Park, every other dinosaur movie was made for like $5.
Yeah, and they haven't typically
And even
looked great.
this,
Like I know you like 65. That's a big downgrade with the visual effects
Oh, it totally is.
for a Jurassic Park movie. And
well,
like
well, and you,
B movie stuff can be really fun, but they advertised that like
Yeah.
it was a big blockbuster.
Yeah.
And I mean this technically is trying to be a blockbuster.
Yeah.
But it knows it's not going to be like a Jurassic Park or something. That
True.
it's not going to be that huge. But like they put it out in the summer on purpose. Later in the summer, trying to get past all the huge movies. But I'm sorry, Robert, what were you going to say?
oh, just that, like, compared, like you said, this isn't a very big budget. It's still like twice as much of what 65 got.
Sure. Yeah.
And half of that probably went to Adam Driver.
And it's got actors you've heard of, and like they pretty clearly built a lot of set.
Mhm.
Like I don't know I haven't looked into the production with this very much. I don't know if it was built if it was made at all on backlot, but I imagine they probably built that neighborhood.
I would think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Especially because there's one shot of it that I don't think is CG. I might be wrong, but there's this really cool shot where they get up like bird's eye view on it, and I'm like, did they build that or like I wasn't sure.
Yeah, even if it's like they built a little bit, like maybe it's CGI enhanced.
Yeah, maybe so.
Mm.
But anyway, let's get right into it. I'm real tempted to have you start on this.
Okay. I'll go first.
Are you good going
Yeah,
first?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead, sir.
So,
By the way, can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
Besides Jason, I have no idea where these guys are on this movie, and let me like no idea. You guys could love it, you could hate it. I have no idea. I made the mistake of going to see this, like I said earlier, Jason and I, Friday night at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was more dog tired than I realized I was. And, like,
Around this
I
time.
didn't full on like fall asleep, but I had to fight drifting off.
Me too.
So I will just put in the disclaimer that I didn't feel like I had a totally fair watch with this. But I am really curious to see where you guys are on this. The whole thing is sort of a fever dream for me right now. But anyway, go ahead, Jason.
So, a couple of minutes earlier, you said that dinosaur films that aren't Jurassic Park don't do well, and they're not great. They're still not great. So I guess I'll start with my best thing. I have a few. And my actual like my best thing, and this is like it usually I say this as a cop out, but it's actually kind of true. This Giacchino score is really good. And it's one of his best. And
yeah, this is a case where if you call that the best thing, I'm not gonna say you're phoning it in.
Yeah.
It's quite a score.
It's kind of killer. And but as far as like actual like story things
like
go,
from the studio logos.
Yeah.
You and I looked at each other like, what is this score?
I know. And yeah, it's just very different, and it's I like it
it's
quite
real
a bit.
bombastic. It's doing some of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, totally. as far as like the actual movie goes, I like the concept a lot. It's very Twilight Zone, and it's I was very intrigued, and I watched like one trailer like 6 months ago when it came out, so I barely remembered what this movie was supposed to be. Um, and then a lot of the dinosaur sequences are actually pretty good. So
When you say really good, you just mean visually,
very they're
or
fun to watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like the storyboarding is good. Like
That's it.
okay,
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
okay.
Besides that, I think my worst thing is just the characters. They're insufferable. Like every single one of them. I can't stand any of them. They're all I'm so sorry, but like they're all really dumb and they can't do anything right. And the adults are somehow dumber than the children. And I don't and
Look,
like
I've met families like that.
but my other thing is this town is like everybody's dead and somehow this family is the only one that survived, and they're like the dumbest people I've ever seen in a movie. And it's like and they're just like I don't really care about any of them, and it's like I don't, and they're not likable. I don't know. That's my worst thing. There are a couple other things, but yeah, it sucks because like I really like the concept, but I didn't. I keep forgetting there's a sign. I didn't love this movie. Um, I think while watching it, I thought it was just very much a mixed bag, and I was like, I mean, I feel like I could flip green. And then I thought about it afterwards, and I'm like,
No,
no.
we've lost the stream again. Are you guys still with us?
I don't know.
Oh no,
Yeah.
now it's back.
Yes.
It's flipping in and out on us. Okay, let us know in the comments if you
Oh,
can hear us.
beautiful.
We'll keep
Beautiful.
going here.
We died, but our AI constructs are talking. So you're
Oh,
good.
good.
Well,
Our holograms.
that's why we back us up every week. See, now I want Robert to have to change his background every time we reference lanterns.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah.
That was really dramatic.
Oh man, I was talking about dinosaurs, and then I don't even know. Oh yeah, but I really like this
That's what's in this
I really
movie.
like this concept.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think after giving it thought, I was like,
you like it
no,
even less.
I don't want to watch this ever again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it has good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it has too much bad stuff. I don't know, and we could talk about it, but yeah.
So, a pretty harsh response there
Yeah.
from Jayson. Let's go to Austin next.
Oh.
Really mix it up.
Oh God. Jason and I straight up saw a different movie. I really liked this movie. It's a straight green, easy for me. I actually like that entire time was struggling to think of a worse thing. I really like this movie. I guess best thing, I'll just agree. Like I really like the all the dinosaur sequences. I think they do a good job of balancing out different dinosaurs, and they're all like pretty interesting in how we use them. My big thing, just like my big takeaway from this, was that it reminded me of Gremlins, not in that it is in any way like Gremlins, but in that Gremlins is very much that like Spielbergian house style. But Joe Dante is such a strong, distinct has such a strong, distinct voice that it like completely bleeds through that, especially by the end of the movie. And I felt like this really had that, where it's like JJ brings in that Spielbergian Amblin feel, and then like the director completely bleeds through that. and I thought that was really cool. And I'm a huge fan of It Follows, so it was really interesting. Like when this was announced, part of why I was interested in it was I'm like, I have no idea what that guy makes with a summer blockbuster, and it was kind of exactly what I thought it would be, just from his other movies, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, no, and oddly enough, because I keep hearing people talk about the score, and it didn't jump out at me. Like I don't know, there was like one moment where it did when I was like, "Oh, now it's just a Carpenter movie." But for the most part, but I'm also bad at noticing score in general, so that's not saying like it's not a good score. But I find that interesting that I'm like the only person I've talked to, or you know what I mean, that hasn't been like, "Oh my
You
god,
talk to
this is like
yourself
the
about the
greatest
score?
score ever." I do all the time.
No, I thought Giacchino was taking some big swings.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, just in general, the last like 6 or 7 years of his career, it just been bangers, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like I used to see him as much more of kind of a workman composer, and he's kind of I don't know if he's carved out his own sound or if he just does more unique things for each film, but like he doesn't sound generic to me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not fair because it's not like everything he did was generic. Like,
Yeah, what
you know,
has he
I
done
love his
recently?
Lost stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then earlier in his career, you know, like a Star Trek '09, it would just kind of sound like Lost music.
Yeah.
And he's really branched out. Um, and so in sort of the same way, Austin, that you're talking about the director, like moving past uh like Amblin stuff and carving out like his own sort of feel and tone. Like that's what the score does, where it's looking at John Williams and then it kind of speeds past that and does its own thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And like I said, that's the only way in which it's like Gremlins. But I just found that kind of interesting. Also, the climax I thought was very Jumanji, not the bad Jumanjis, the
Yeah.
original Jumanji. And I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, Robert, what did you
I would
think?
I would almost argue that it's like Gremlins somewhat tonally too, just in how like kind of exaggerated and over the top everything is. Like it's begging you not to take it too seriously in a way a lot of Spielberg doesn't.
Well, there's definitely a '50s B movie influence here, and of course, that was a big influence on
Yeah,
Dante.
sure.
That's all. That's in like all of his work. So
No,
there's
the
gonna be some
big Gremlins
crossover.
thing is just every time somebody walks out and is like, "Hey, what's going on?" and they immediately get eaten.
Yeah. Good, Robert.
So for my slant flip, I got red for Cap's favorite movie, Jurassic House, and for
Yeah.
green,
Just needs
I
Jurassic House
got
logo on it.
I got Peter Jackson's King Kong because it's kind of a dinosaur movie. Like there's kind of dinosaurs in it.
I guess I
Um,
shouldn't be cheering because you put Jurassic House in red, but I mean it's also fair. It's like it's good. I just like
yeah.
it.
Uh, Best thing is going to be something we haven't really talked about much yet. I guess for me will be the cast. Like, not saying this is the best work I've seen from these people, but I always like Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway in things. I think she's the standout here. I think she gets the best stuff to work with. But I don't know. Like, I certainly liked the characters more than Jason did, but there are some stupid character moments that certainly bothered me. My worst thing is not that I think the script is bad because there's a lot of good stuff here. For me, it's more at times and I'm curious if I'll still feel this way on a second viewing. I kind of felt like I was watching a first draft. Like we have a lot of scenes and bits that just aren't super well woven together. Like this is a major spoiler, but like one thing that stood out to me, like there's a Stephen King bully in this who really doesn't need to be here and is really pointless. And then there's lots of just character bits and things where there's a lot of like stuff with the family drama early on that I actually really liked, and a lot of stuff I'm kind of two minds about. Where I'm like, oh, I appreciate the subtlety of some choices and some characters, but then there's stuff I think we could have milked it, got a little more out of, like the epilogue. I think I like, but it's so quick. I don't have a lot of time to like to digest it. Like I genuinely wanted a longer epilogue, just given all the stuff that happens in this movie. I don't know if anyone will agree with that. But
That's fair.
because I'm here to disagree with everything Jason says, the score didn't stand out to me at all. I had Austin's thing. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's not my favorite work I've heard from Giacchino, but fair enough. I didn't dislike it. Again, there's a lot of things in this movie I wonder if I'll like more and will stand out to me more on a second viewing. But the response to this has been so interesting, Cap. It's another movie where I wouldn't call it polarizing because I'm not seeing a lot of like love that hate it with this movie. I'm seeing more some people are really loving it and then other people are just mixed on it. And I'm closer to that camp, but I'm gonna give this the light green. Like I thought it was okay. Like I didn't like it as much as Austin did, but I also liked it more than Jason. I'm like I thought it was fine. I didn't love it or anything, but maybe I'll like it on a second viewing more. I don't know. And you guys have been talking about like the tone and the approach. Like my takeaway as a positive is it's not that it's trying to feel like a Spielberg directed movie like J.J. Abrams is usually trying to do, whether he succeeds or not. Like to Austin's point, to me, it feels more like a Spielberg produced 80s movie, like Gremlins or Poltergeist, which is an obvious influence. Like the Spielberg produced movies just have a different flavor and edge to them that I saw a lot of here. But there were some tonal things that didn't always land for me, like just some acting choices and stuff where, again, I kind of got like the 50s B movie vibe we were going for, but there was other stuff. There's one big moment we'll talk about in spoilers where my theater laughed, and I don't think it was going for comedy, so that made that scene an awkward experience. No idea if I would have felt that way if I was just watching this movie by myself. Again, there's a lot of things about this movie I could see myself changing my mind on or liking more at a second viewing. But for now, I'm gonna flip green. Like I thought it was pretty good. I liked it fine. There's lots of good bits and stuff in it. Like you guys like the dinosaur sequences. Like there's some standout scary stuff. And I mean, again, this isn't high praise, but yeah, it's better than all the Jurassic World movies. Mission accomplished. Even Cap's beloved Jurassic House, it's better than that. And the big thing I think Austin's mentioned before is it's nice even for a PG-13 movie. This is surprisingly bloody, which doesn't surprise me from this director in his previous work. But that is a major problem I have with the Jurassic World movies is just how toothless they are and how safe they are, and this doesn't have that problem. So that's something I really appreciate about it.
Oh, worst thing. They're all from the 80s, and none of them are like, wait a minute, why do dinosaurs have feathers?
This isn't accurate.
It's not accurate to the lore.
Yeah, they should be confused by that. That's true.
I kept waiting for it to come up, and it never did. Again, I think we knew that by that point, but like it wasn't common knowledge. Like I think it was. Yeah.
Well, it actually became we learned that ostensibly a lot more dinosaurs had feathers even than we thought at that point. So, like,
yeah,
if memory serves, like the belief that raptors probably had, I say belief, I don't know where the science comes from, but like the assumption that raptors, for instance, have feathers, I don't think comes until like the early 2000s. Like, I remember that being news, where it's like, oh, raptors have feathers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly.
I could be wrong about
where
that.
lined up.
I'd have to look it
Yeah.
up, but I don't think with Jurassic Park it was a choice not to include them. I don't think they knew about it, but somebody that knows this better than I do, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be. You guys, I deeply want to cop out on this one, and like I will come down somewhere. I feel like I was off on the wrong foot with this one, and I feel like almost irresponsible reviewing it. Cause like I watched this under kind of odd circumstances, and it was, and I should also say, I don't know if how I'm feeling about this uh, is too much based on what I was expecting versus what I got, and I found it very difficult to take this on its own terms. I kind of need another viewing, and I don't know if I'll like it better or worse. I definitely saw the movie Jason saw over the one Austin saw, but I think I maybe liked it more than Jason did, but I had a really bad first impression with it, and like I said, it may be better ultimately than I'm giving it credit for. I was confused and bewildered most of the movie, like past the first 20 minutes, where I was like, I cannot decide what this thinks it's doing. I was really confused by mission statement with this one. Like, I'm not sure what the point of it was ultimately. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to take these characters like earnestly, and I'm supposed to actually like sympathize with them and care about them, or if they're supposed to be stupid and that's supposed to be funny. Like, I don't know how much of this is comedy and how much of it isn't. I got to the end of this and I went, because a lot of the movie I went in Robert, I go further than you when you say some of it felt like a first draft. I thought a lot of it was like really badly written, like just full stop, poorly written. And I got to the end of it and I went, ooh, that might have been on purpose. I'm not sure, and that's why I need another viewing of it. I can't decide if it's an attempt at an '80s, early '90s Spielberg movie or if it's making fun of them. It might be a parody. I cannot decide. I'm not sure. And so like I kind of feel like I feel weird reviewing it. Like I feel like I don't understand the thing, and I think I might on a second viewing. But it's not at all what I thought I was walking in on,
But it's also
and it never fully won me over on whatever it is it's doing because I did not understand it as a piece.
Because it's also not like Jurassic House where it's taking itself too seriously,
and that's why I thought it was funny, and I know a lot of people don't, but like that's what
it's ironically
that's what
funny.
was funny about that to me is like I know they think it works and it's serious, and it's just like preposterously dumb, and they're like, this doesn't have that thing where it's pretentious at all.
No, it seems like it's trying to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about it. I'm just sort of bewildered.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Well, yeah, for me, I never felt like it was going for full on farce or parody. From the get go, I thought, oh, we're going for more just like corny 50s B movie. But with still like that degree of sincerity. Like that's at least what I took away from it, whether you think it succeeded or not.
And I gotta be honest with you, if that's what it is, I don't think it works, personally. Like I'm with Jason. I really hated these people. I also thought Ewan McGregor was flat out bad. I thought his performance was rough. I didn't like it. And like the only way it works is if he's doing a parody of something. Otherwise, it just flat out doesn't work for me. I don't know. I don't mind being the bad guy here. It just didn't work for me, and it might, like I said, on a second viewing, I might have another read on it, but like. All of my best things are superficial. The dinosaur effects are like shockingly good. The cinematography, most of it is fantastic, and then there's like some really weird choices that I don't even know if I have a problem with. They're just weird, and like I said, like I can't decide where to come down on some of this stuff. There's a sequence where there's like this real kind of suspenseful scene where they're all hiding in their house, and there's a dialogue scene. I think it's about the wormhole, because of course you've got to have the one kid that studies science and happens to be studying exactly what she needs. You got to have the super genius kid that like happens to know exactly what's happening, and during that scene we keep framing it where we have like half of a person's head in a corner and then the rest of the shot, and like I can't decide if it's supposed to be funny, but like I'm laughing at it because it looks like a Star Trek animated series episode. where you have like half a person's face in the corner of a shot. And so there were some like really experimental things like that that were like interesting. But I don't know how to critique it.
And I
like,
thought the directing overall was good. But I thought those shots were interesting.
And there's some shots that will really stick with me. That like as a visual piece, like it's cool.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. There's a lot to like here. It's just like on the writing side, I was confounded, and I like I said just didn't like these characters at all. But so I mean, I guess that's worst thing is I didn't believe the people, but I couldn't decide if I was supposed to. So I don't know. Like, this is not going to be a good review on my part because I feel like I need to give it another shot. And I'm willing to give it another shot. Like I liked enough in it. Like Jason doesn't want to see it again. I would. One thing I also really appreciated was we go to prehistory and not everything is a dinosaur.
Yeah, and man, there's a big spoiler thing I want to talk about.
Well, we can go ahead and spoil. For the moment, I'm going red, but like I don't know. I could really dig it on another watch. I'm not sure. I feel like something could click that second time. And I have this with a lot of things where I get kind of stuck on something and kind of just need to go again.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'm saying that to say like grain of salt with my review because I don't feel qualified right now. But I was not gonna have time to go again. So this could have been very different if I saw it twice.
But what is your spoiler thing, Jason? We can jump into spoilers.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway repeatedly stabbing a giant snake is the best thing all summer.
That on the Blu-ray. That's the quote on the box.
The idea that a 2.5 mile snake could go into a house and sneak up on 3 different people in 3 different rooms is so preposterous. And I gotta say, I was genuinely unnerved when it opened its mouth. That actually kind of freaked me out.
No, that was the best.
I like that.
That was cool.
It was a good shot.
That had the potential to be the best sequence in the movie. I just think it was a little too short. I thought it just kind of got done with it too quickly, but I did like that sequence quite a bit.
Yeah, it was weird when it just rushed off. Like that thing is fast for how long it is.
Yeah.
I got stabbed like 800 times in the back.
I'm sorry, what, Austin?
Said I got stabbed 800 times in the back. It was like, okay, time to leave.
Well, I kept thinking, if it dies here, what do they do?
Yeah.
They got food.
Because, like, well, I had that thought too. It was like, maybe they'll cook it. But you had that, and you had all those, like, kind of gator dinosaurs toward the end. That was cool.
See, I thought that was just a gigantic planaria. And I totally thought that they were going to try to cut it in half. And then it would grow into 2 of them. And I really thought that's where they were going. But that's not where they went.
That would have been insane.
Awesome.
You wouldn't.
I know.
You wouldn't even have a house anymore. Like
No.
They would just bust through the roof, and you'd be totally done. Did you guys not have? Let me just change the subject for a second.
Yeah.
Did you guys not have the thing that Jason did? Because I was also really distracted by this the whole movie, where like everybody else is dead.
There's like
did that not bug you guys? Where it's like
there's a surprising lack of people in
somehow this family makes it, everybody else is dead, and that's part of it's not what I expected to go into because I thought it was going to be like this whole neighborhood figuring out how to survive, and like when it was just
really
this
cool.
family and everybody else was dead, I was disappointed
make it like
by
Day
that.
After Tomorrow, but good, and with dinosaurs. But that's not what they.
I mean, we see a lot of them get killed early on, so that didn't.
Yeah, no, that's what I had.
But then, like, there are other pockets of people, like the Stephen King bully, who just shows up randomly later. Like, oh, I guess he was still alive, and then we never see him again.
I don't think. See, I don't agree with you. I don't think we saw enough die that it makes sense just how empty the town is.
Yeah,
or the neighborhood, I should say, because it's Jurassic cul-de-sac. This movie.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I had to give it a title, you know.
I love Jurassic Cul-de-sac. That's great.
Austin, talk about the Stephen King bully.
No, the Stephen King bully is baffling, but to a degree where it really made me laugh that he just pops up in the middle of this like dino apocalypse and is like, "I'm still getting revenge on you, god damn it!"
Yeah, that was
And he's
weird.
only in 2 scenes, so I don't know why he's there, and like probably shouldn't be, but it did make me laugh in the theater. No, it was very bizarre.
Yeah.
And I
No, and
figured it was bizarre in a way that you would appreciate it more than I did, Austin. I walked out going like, Austin's gonna like this, and I don't understand what I'm looking at.
Yeah, no, and I liked all the characters. I thought they were pretty believable for the most part. Like
Really? Okay. Well, we're just
I've
gonna
definitely met
agree to disagree.
Ewan
place there,
McGregor in
man.
this movie.
I thought there was some, like, sorry, I'm getting tired. I thought there was some super amateurish writing in this, and then I couldn't decide if it was on purpose.
That kid that they pick up who has no parents.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's that character. Like, I can't describe that character any further than that.
That's all you get.
She has no likes or
It's a
dislikes.
girl.
She's just a girl.
Yeah.
She likes girls. That's a like.
I don't like we're supposed
Yeah.
to care about this character who, because like she like disappears for a second and I'm like I don't care. Like, I don't know.
But Austin, I just thought, and again, I keep hesitating because I can't decide if these characters like intentionally obnoxious or not. But you're saying believable, and I'm not having that at all. Like, this couple, like the way they interact with each other and the way they raise their kids, they're children. Like they're just obnoxiously childish. And
Yeah, I mean, I come from a broken family. This is my life. I like, yeah, I don't know, like I've had these like exact experiences. There's even the bit later on where she takes the picture of Ewan McGregor. My dad has that exact picture of me as a child. I'm like, oh, this is like hidden right at home.
well, I couldn't
No,
relate to it at all.
a scene early on I liked is the scene with Ewan McGregor and the son when they're like taking the sign off the car. Like I thought that whole scene was fine and believable. And he's like, "Yeah, I can tell you're smoking. You know, don't do that." Like that's so like all the back and forth there like was totally believable to me.
I also thought
Yeah,
like all
go
the
ahead, Jason.
opening stuff, like the pacing is so weird because it's so slow to get going and then it's like super quick. And it's like it was kind of jarring to me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean that felt deliberate to me, but yeah,
Sure.
fair enough.
Well, that's how a lot of those Amblin movies are. Like Jurassic Park also has that.
And I'm not saying this is exactly what it's going for because it does kind of try to have its cake in it too. But what I like about some movies like The Birds is like the first half of that movie is just getting to know these people, and then the bird apocalypse happens, and then none of that matters, and it's just a survival movie for the rest of it. So there's a little bit of that in here, but then there's also like character stuff that like there's attempts at setup and payoff here, whether you think they're executed well or not. Like I said, there were just choices and things that were hit or miss for me throughout it.
Yeah, like
Yeah, for sure.
some of the drama with the parents and stuff works on paper in a way I just don't think it's is executed very well. Where like I'm not saying obviously I need characters to be perfect and that they shouldn't be flawed, like they're human beings obviously. But a lot of it was really rote to me, where it's like you've got to have your typical couple that's not getting along. What is it they're going to fight about? And he just seems like an idiot in keeping in like not telling his wife he got fired. That's just kind of like a story point or a trope that I almost never works for me. Is part of it. And again, I couldn't decide where I stood with it. Where I'm like, am I supposed to like this guy or not? And so I had that thing where once he gets eaten, I'm like, am I supposed to feel bad about this, or like is that a good thing? And then when again we're in spoilers now. And then when they do the big twist at the end, which I don't know how I feel about, and you do the kind of time travel thing, I they and like she saves him and by calling him. I I'm like it reads like it's supposed to be kind of endearing. I thought it read kind of emotionally manipulative, and I like part of that's just because I didn't feel anything about that character.
Yeah. Also, the whole calling people thing was really funny to me because it's like, do
Well,
you
look, in
have
1982, you might have more of your neighbors' numbers memorized. Like,
yeah, but then she calls everybody and just leaves herself to die. Like that was hilarious.
well, it would be really awkward and confusing for her if she like saved the other versions of her family.
Yeah.
Like now
Yeah.
there's two sets of them.
hmm
We see that happen though with the other girl, because she runs back, and then in the epilogue we see that now there are two of them.
Oh, I missed
In
that.
that final shot with the family. Yeah,
Oh,
I also
that's
missed
actually
that.
kind of
I'm
cool.
like,
I
I
missed
had
that.
like a moment of, I had a moment of like, wait, what? What's going? Oh, okay.
Well, because they
yeah.
asked
I
the,
just
they
didn't
asked the
care. She didn't
question,
want to
are
make
there
herself.
are there two sets of us now? And I'm like, well, there have to be. They're like that's the only way this time travel could work. I sort of like this. I think they are sort of telegraphing that it's definitely the kind of time travel where you would end up with a duplicate set just in the shot of the digital clock that is so Back to the Future. I don't know if you had that, but it was kind of screaming like it's going to be Back to the Future time travel logic.
Mhm.
And I can't decide like if it works or not, or if it's going for like a closed time loop thing, or like are the
Yeah.
other versions of Anne Hathaway and the kids, like, are they just dead? Like,
I think they're just dead.
I think they're just dead.
yeah,
Yeah, I think they're just dead.
that's crazy.
No, I don't think it's
That'll
a
be
closed
the
time loop.
sequel.
I think it's Back to the Future, and I think if you could find that wormhole and jump back in, you could change things a third time.
It's crazy, man.
That
Well, it made me think of the
Sorry.
end game time travel, like in that they still exist. They don't wipe themselves out by doing that. Like that kind of time travel. Terminator has that as well, I guess.
But I will say during the credits there was a tribute to the director's father, who I guess passed away like a few years ago or whatever, and that did make me wonder how much like that recontextualizes the movie, like how much is this about his own family, like, or if that succeeds or at all or not, or am I just pointlessly psychoanalyzing this? I don't know, but it did feel like a personal film to me. Like it felt like it was coming from a genuine place, and like I said, I obviously didn't hate these characters as much as you guys did.
No, and I wasn't sure how to feel about like the whole time travel thing in the moment, but at the same time, I thought that scene where they see him again was really sweet. So I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
like the scene at least.
And I don't know if this is what happened, but it also feels to be like the original ending is just she orders pizza to save her husband and get her husband back. But then it almost feels like reshoots. Like, well, let's let her save some of the other neighbors too. So I guess in the 5 seconds she was in that phone booth, she ordered pizza and then left like 20 panic messages of get out of the town.
well,
Like,
and
okay.
her daughter asks her, like who she called, and the only reason she doesn't tell her is so that it can be a reveal for the audience.
Yeah. And it
She
plays
could
like
have
she
been like,
only
I
called
called
one
everybody I
person.
could call. Like that's what she
Yeah,
would say.
100%.
But no, she's not going to say that because otherwise we would know, and they want to make that a big surprise.
No, I had that same moment too, Robert, where it does feel like we tacked on like, wait a minute, does she look really bad? Add that on.
Well, I was like, and I don't know what you do in that situation when you only have 20 minutes, but yeah, it's like, do you call in like a bomb threat or something? Like something to get that whole town evacuated as quickly as possible. I don't know what you do
It's just those
when you have
3
20
people we
minutes.
see.
Well, that's what I was
She
going to
only
say
saved
is
them.
I'm pretty sure she just called the family she had the numbers for. And that made me kind of that made
I mean,
the
there could be a
epilogue.
there could be a book in that phone booth though. Like maybe she did call every number. I mean, the movie doesn't show
That
that.
would take too long.
That's what I think. Like well, and also even if she called every number, she's not going to know the names of every single person that lives there. Like any way you slice it,
Yeah,
somebody
sure.
dies. And
Yeah.
that made the epilogue a little sticky to me because I was like, well, she gets like this hero worship for saving people, and you'd think that there would at least be some neighbors that would be like, why didn't you call this other neighbor that was my best friend? Like I would think there'd be some animosity where there'd be some people that would hate her for not saving someone.
How
Because
did she have that much change on her?
yeah. No, because I assumed okay, there's gonna be some sort of closed loop to this where like just the rest of the world just doesn't know what happened.
That's kind of
'Cause
what I
that's
thought.
usually
It's
how
like,
we
nope,
play
there's
these.
dinosaurs now.
And then it's like, oh yeah, we already killed most of them, and I'm like, oh, sad.
No, I genuinely for a moment was like, oh, is this longer than I thought it was? And like we're now into a second climax where now the dinosaurs are going to attack them in the town. And then when it immediately cut into epilogue, I was like, okay, that's good. I feel like that would have been too much.
Well, and it is a pretty short movie. Like I knew it couldn't have another climax because I checked the runtime. It was only like an hour 40, and I was like, well, this has
Oh, and
to
I
be
didn't
the end
even
of
see
this
that.
because it's short.
Hey, at least it didn't just end with them walking onto a beach and there was just a man standing there. And then the army runs in.
Austin, like I said, I'm really wondering what I'll have on a second viewing. I am genuinely surprised that you said you found the ending with Ewan McGregor's character sweet. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, no, I
That
thought
too.
that scene was really nice. I was also. It's kind of funny. So when the T-Rex like
I
bites his
couldn't
leg
take
off, I
it
was.
remotely seriously. And I'm really
Yeah, no, I
surprised that
didn't have that
you
at
two didn't
all.
have that, but we were sitting next to each other both just kind of, and we had an audience that like applauded at the end. We just looked at each other. We were like, what did you guys just see? Like the audience that we watched it with saw a different movie than we did, but we both saw the same movie. So I don't know. And like Jason and I
But
are
yeah,
not the
when
same
the
person. We don't always agree. So I don't know.
no, and the T-Rex bit his leg off, I was like, oh man, he only has one leg. Like we're gonna have to figure out what to do with this, and like we're gonna have to carry him around for. Oh, I did not
And,
expect that.
and I thought something like that may may happen at some point. I thought, oh, if anybody dies, it's probably going to be him. But that was the big moment where my audience laughed, and I was like, I don't think that was
No,
going for
I was
comedy, and
laughing
that
at
made
that.
that
I
really
thought that was
awkward.
hilarious.
I also kind of thought that was funny. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I don't think it was going for comedy, so I don't know. Um, but yeah, and also
Again,
just
I
like the
don't know
way
what he
that,
was going
I'm
for.
still confused as to what
but
it majoritively was trying to accomplish. Yeah.
but that whole sequence I thought was just kind of awkwardly staged because right before that happens, he like hits it in the face with the sledgehammer and it just falls over, and I was like, what? And then it gets up and eats him. So like just the way that whole scene was staged, I found just awkwardly executed, just in the build up to it.
Also,
Um,
just the like transitions between scenes and like just like it's just really awkward. I don't know. Like the editing isn't great. I don't know. Something about it is just like there's like a super dramatic scene and then just immediately cut to comedic thing that is like I don't know. My mind is like whoa, like we just got chased by a huge dinosaur and now I'm supposed to laugh. And I like
mhm.
and
I
it
had a little of
works.
that too.
It
Yeah.
works like that should work. But just the way that they do it, I don't know. I don't know why, but
I do think it might be a little too short.
I didn't have that. But
Yeah.
I
And
thought it was
I'll
good.
say the comedy was like kind of hit or miss for me throughout, and then I wasn't sure what was always sure what was going for comedy or not. But as far as characters like being stupid goes, that wasn't bothering me as much until the back half. Like, I think where the movie starts to lose me is when the kid leaves to go chase after the dog, and then which is then followed by like long sequences of characters just kind of nonchalantly walking around outside when they know dinosaurs are around, and that's the stuff that was starting to annoy me, personally.
I also think I'm just kind of done with uh dogs in movies. I think I'm to that point.
It's and
Like,
I'm so of two minds about this, but like it's also a CGI dog half the time, and it looks bad.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I didn't even catch that. Yeah.
There's some rough shots. Whenever it jumps from like a high place, it's if I get it. Like you're not gonna do
Oh,
that to a
okay.
real
Yeah, yeah.
dog.
No,
So
yeah, I have a shot in my head now. Sorry, I thought you meant just like it was always CGI.
no. Yeah. I just
Okay,
mean
I got
when
you.
it
I got you.
switches to a CGI dog, I can tell.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair.
Did it occur to you that when the kid uh tries to jump to get into the portal and misses, which I totally knew that was going to happen, like somebody was going to jump
Yeah.
and miss the
Oh,
portal
yeah.
and hit the ground.
Oh yeah.
Did it occur to you that that's the like fence electrocution scene in Jurassic Park?
yeah,
I had that thought while I was watching it.
Sure.
I did.
I was like, oh, they've
Yeah.
sort of recreated that.
Yeah.
That's a big moment I saw coming and then couldn't decide if it was trying to be funny or not.
That one I didn't think
I mean,
was trying to be funny, but
But I thought it was funny. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
it, was,
that's
it,
yeah.
it was definitely funny, but also like dramatic. But like I also laughed too.
yeah, I got to the end and she saves her husband, and I'm like, but you guys had a like really unstable marriage and like the worst possible communication in a marriage, and everything that they've like discussed and finally figured out, he was not actually there for it because it's a different version of him. So I now it's the version
Oh,
that
you're
is still
so
lying to her about getting fired and everything.
yeah.
And I get it, like she's just glad he's alive, but I'm like, I don't know how this marriage works. Like I could see them getting divorced in 6 months, even after all of this.
Oh yeah, I mean they could.
But like, what I'm saying, Austin, is it's supposed to be so heartwarming at the end, and then I'm like, yeah, but I don't see this relationship working out. Like, I don't know if
And
I don't know how dysfunctional they think it is, or if it's supposed to be funny that it's just you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm at a
Well,
loss with some of the way they're playing them.
but I mean, like that's the point of like the photograph scene is like it starts as like a comedic scene, but it's also supposed to be like the last happy moment they have before he dies, which is why I did not at all think when he gets killed like I'm supposed to be like happy or rooting for him to die, because like the very previous scene is them, kind of rekindling that relationship.
It's also so funny because
So
I didn't think that whole like taking a picture of him scene, I did not think was funny at all until he
That's fair.
made the dumbest face. Like, he just goes,
No, that was great.
like I'm like, Ewan McGregor,
And
what
Anne
are you
Hathaway is the
doing?
dumbest face on their wedding photo. It's a running theme. It's the one thing they got.
Austin Einstein Jet put in a super chat and corrected you that it was an Allosaurus, not a T-Rex.
Oh, okay, I don't know. To me, all dinosaurs are just T-Rex. Big T-Rex, flying T-Rex, three-horned T-Rex.
Flying T-Rex.
Yeah, I had
That's
some
what they
scale
all are.
issues. Like I felt like there were certain dinosaurs that are usually gigantic that seemed pretty scaled down to put in this neighborhood.
I mean, I guess if it's not a T-Rex, then I guess that's fine. I don't know how big an Allosaurus is.
I think even an Allosaurus is a little bigger than what we had, but I might be wrong. I don't know. But
What I
sometimes
need an
they
Why
seem
was the
explanation
giant
for-
snake bigger than like most of the dinosaurs?
I want to know if
Yeah.
I want to know if that is for sure a real creature or if that is completely invented for this movie. Like,
That's the basilisk. It was tying into the Harry Potter show.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
You'll see those stab wounds on it in season 2.
I mean, like the Velociraptors of the Jurassic Park franchise, like, are just fictional characters.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, they're based on the Utah Raptor more than anything. But real Velociraptors were a lot smaller.
But
Uh,
and we love the Utah Raptor. But the thing about this is a lot of the dinosaurs, they're trying to play more realistic, mostly to separate themselves from Jurassic Park. But then, do you do that and also have like completely fictional, made up creatures from the start? I don't know how important it even was that we went to real prehistory with this. Like, it could have just been a wormhole that took you to some prehistoric-ish dimension, right? Like, it doesn't even matter that it's out of time versus another dimension. So you could have any creatures you wanted to, I would think.
I'm not a proctologist. I don't know any of this stuff.
Which would help to... Because one thing I wondered, and again, this is not my field or anything. So like I like dinosaurs. I don't know jack for anything about dinosaurs. But one thing I kept wondering is, like, I kind of wanted to do some research and see if these dinosaurs all go together. Because like if you just dropped this cul-de-sac into a region somewhere in 65 million years ago in prehistory, would these specific creatures all show up? And it seems like a lot. And I mean, I get it. You're making a horror film. Like, it's a conceit. I'm not even complaining. I'm just wondering. Like, it's a lot of creatures to just all walk into this neighborhood. Like, there's probably a lot of space outside of this neighborhood, unless somehow the wormhole, like, traps them inside of this area, but I didn't get that sense. I thought it was just kind of plopped down. So it's like, why are so many of these creatures in this, like, showing up to this little neighborhood? I would think that you would have some kind of swaths of time where nothing showed up.
Yeah, I mean,
and then,
probably.
Like, do all the actual animals go together? But again, that's whatever, because you're making a monster movie.
I like the Spinosaurus got something to do since Jurassic Park's too afraid to use it after 3.
They were in Rebirth for 5 seconds.
That's what I mean, to like any degree.
Yeah,
like
you could tell a lot of your choices were based on like what has Jurassic Park not done much of.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. Einstein Jet, $5 super chat. These dinosaurs definitely don't all go together, but I'm guessing the wormholes brought in dinosaurs from all over time. Maybe, but I thought the idea was just you've got a wormhole in 1982, and you've got a wormhole in whatever year this is, and you kind of Ninja Turtles 3'd it, Austin, where like you have stuff from that time period that shows up in the present day. That I was kind of surprised by. And I like that kind of mystery bit at the beginning where it's like, here's this plant that doesn't belong here. What the hell is that? Like, that stuff was fun.
No, I really liked the build. Like, even just when we finally go back in time and we get like little flashes of dinosaurs before they actually start attacking. Yeah. I thought that was all really well done.
Yeah, and maybe I'm alone here, but at this, like, once everything hits the fan, like, I am team dad, where he's like, hey, let's just wait here and see what happens. That's a part of where, I don't know, I felt like maybe you could have had like a longer passage of time or more discussion of like provisions. Like, I don't really get a good sense of like
I wanted more
how their food storage
stuff.
actually is.
But like I said, I also wanted more. And I don't want to rewrite the story or whatever. I wanted more characters to survive and everybody try to work together. That was the movie I was hoping I was walking into.
I did like
that's not what they made.
I did like the optimism versus pessimism thing. That's like one of my favorite tropes, I guess. Not tropes, but just like story things to do.
Yeah. Kind of like on paper. I just didn't believe that couple.
Yeah.
Something might click on a second viewing. I don't know. It's just the experience I had 11 o'clock at night right after watching freaking Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Prize your brain.
It did.
Yeah, you guys might feel different. If you had... Well, I guess Austin did watch Green Lantern.
That's what I was going to say, is Austin watched Green Lantern immediately before seeing this. Or like a couple days before.
And I was like, thank God I'm not watching Green Lantern.
Well, I say that when I'm watching anything that's not Green Lantern. Almost anything.
I agree.
That is, oh boy.
Hey, anyway, anything else you guys want to say about it? This is the most on opposite ends we've been in a while, I think.
Yeah.
Yay.
We did it.
But I mean,
I don't know. Every time I'm on all these, we all agree on everything.
I'm glad you guys
Gotta
like
mix it up.
Well, and the thing is, I was really stoked for this.
Yeah, and I
found myself
wasn't
pretty disappointed with it.
I mean, like, I thought it looked fun, but I was like, yeah, I'll go see that, whatever. And then I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't love it as much as Austin did. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I'm having a little bit of like, I don't know what I thought it was gonna be, but not this.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm also a really big fan of It Follows as well. And I liked that under Silver Lake, so I had more of an idea of what I was getting into, I guess.
And I didn't remember that other movie. I didn't know I had any experience with this guy, and so I wasn't thinking about the director at all watching it. Like, I had no idea who this was.
Oh, and I love It Follows, but I haven't gone back to it in a long time, and I haven't seen his other movie.
Braden, I'm not gonna fire
That's why he's in director jail.
I'm not gonna fire Austin after the stream just because he didn't flip red on a movie I flipped red on.
I like the idea that you fire me and not Robert.
Yeah, well, you were too extremely happy. Like
Robert really said it was fine.
Yeah, he immediately thought of a worst thing and you didn't, and so you're gone. Like that's when we open up the trapdoor.
I'm going back in time.
Yeah, and then in order to get back, you have to make sure to jump into the wormhole at the right time, and you don't fall down on the ground and die.
Why was it blinking the second time? Because it wasn't the first time.
This, what do you mean?
The wormhole. Like when they
thought
first see it, it just stays there, and then the second time they see it, it just starts like blinking, and it's like, well,
it's kind of different every time it pops up. Like sometimes
then, like,
it's
why does it
like
change
flashes for a long time.
places? What, like,
I don't know.
Josh also liked this movie a lot. Yeah.
Have we considered that this is how Hal Jordan died, though? He fell into the portal and got shot by a dinosaur.
Well, these are both small town things made by Warner Brothers. I think this is made by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep. They're not having as good of a year as they did last year.
No, they're not. I don't. Hopefully, this breaks even. Like, it didn't have a big weekend, and I didn't think it would. Like, I was excited.
I think they like half its budget, like, and then it's marketing. I'm sure it probably will do fine. Like, do just okay.
It'll just break even. But yeah, I haven't heard anybody but us talking about this, like, before it came out. Like, I saw advertisements for it, but I don't know that it had like a huge marketing push or anything.
I mean, I saw the trailers a lot, but I never thought this was gonna do very well at the box office. We'll see what happens.
The director's got They Follow next. That'll break him out.
Well, anyway, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. We made it through the stream. It didn't break down on us again, so that's good. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with us, and I appreciate you guys for reviewing things with us, even when we saw completely different movies that have the same title. I don't know how that happens. But anyway, I was Captain Logan. This was Jason.
That was me.
And Robert Wild. And Austin the Day Ghost.
Wait, Austin, is that a Mars Attack shirt?
It is, yeah. It's the only green alien thing I have.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, Austin, it's just Manhunters, not Martian Manhunters.
You never know. John Jones killed Hal Jordan.
With a gun.
With a gun. Exactly. He'll be absolute Martian Manhunter in the DCU.
Okay, Jason's about to go to sleep. Bye, everybody. See you, folks.
Hello.